Now, I haven't done a video like this in a very long time, but you know what? I felt like bringing it back today. We have ourselves a Be a Pro simulation for Macklin Celebrini, so I'm going to be playing the entire career of Macklin Celebrini. However, we do get some rebuilding elements alongside this Be a Pro simulation. So how exactly do things work? Through the first 4 seasons, I'm allowed to play in as many games as I want during the regular season. So down the stretch, if the San Jose Sharks need to win some additional games, I can assist them in winning those games in order for this team to make the playoffs. However, once we get to the postseason, things change a little bit, as I'm only going to be able to jump into 1 game per round. But on top of both of those things, I'm also going to be in charge of the coaching staff, because let's face it, I cannot trust the CPU to build a good coaching staff. Like, they would give me a C overall head coach and then we would be absolutely cooked. After the first 4 seasons though, I get a little bit more control of this team, and I'm going to be allowed to make 3 moves per season. Whether those are trades or free agent signings, I get 3 moves per season. And then once we hit the 9-year mark, I get full control of this San Jose Sharks team. So on top of playing games in the postseason, managing the coaching staff, I can make as many trades and free agent signings as I want, and I can build this team into an absolute dynasty. So I think I've done a good enough job of explaining all the rules here. Now, I would have did a great job of explaining all the rules if I actually did explain all the rules, because there's actually one thing I forgot to mention. Once Macklin Celebrini drops below 90 overall, the CPU is going to take over for the rest of his career. He's likely in the twilight of his career. The team's going to be getting worse. He's going to be getting worse, and I don't want to witness that firsthand. So the CPU takes over once he drops below 90 overall. I completely forgot to mention that rule, but yeah, there you go. Macklin Celebrini, we're about to play your entire career, and I'm going to give you the greatest career of all time. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and simulate season number 1 here, and hopefully this team can make the playoffs. But in order to make sure that we have a chance of making the postseason, I'm just going to simulate up to the beginning of April, and if I have to jump to a handful of games, I'm willing to do so. Also, I guess I didn't mention it, but I'm also controlling the drafting for this entire video. So I guess on top of managing the coaching staff, I'm also managing the scouts, as I'm going to be doing our drafting, because yeah, I'm not trusting the CPU to handle that. I can't trust the CPU to hire me good coaches and good scouts. I know for a fact they'll go out there and get me D overall guys, and that's not who I want on this team. I only want A+ overall scouts and coaches. And speaking of people I can't trust, you know who else I can't trust? People that aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're currently watching this video and you aren't subscribed, how about you become a more trustworthy person and hit that subscribe button down below right now. Now, although the goal is to basically give Macklin Celebrini the greatest career possible, winning him as many Stanley Cups as possible, I don't think we're really here to compete in season number 1. Like, let's face it, this San Jose Sharks team is not quite good enough. We have a 29, 24, and 7 record right now. We're not a super team by any means. We're being offered a trade. Brady Shea for Ravensburgen, that makes absolutely no sense. We're declining that deal. But as I was saying, we are clearly not ready to compete for a Stanley Cup, so I'm not even sure if I'm going to jump into any games at the end of the season, because we might be better off missing the postseason and getting a valuable draft pick. Macklin Celebrini, 21 goals, 37 assists for 58 points. Tyler Toffoli, 50 points. Will Smith, 47. Like, what's the point of me jumping into a bunch of games at the end of the season, forcing us into the postseason as a wildcard team, only for us to get swept in the first round after allowing 7 goals per game? That just doesn't make any sense. In saying that though, if we are only 2 or 3 points out of the postseason, then I will make a play for us in order to get into the playoffs. But if we're going to be missing by 8 points, I'm not going to try to force this team in. We'll just get a valuable draft pick instead and continue to rebuild the San Jose Sharks. So of course, with me not being able to make any trades here, we're just going to go ahead and simulate the rest of the season, and honestly just kind of hope this team tanks. Now, things are actually pretty interesting right now for the San Jose Sharks. We're actually 2 points back of the Seattle Kraken for the 3rd spot in our division, so there is a chance that we could make the postseason here. When it comes to making it in as a wildcard team, I think we're kind of cooked. We're 5 points back of Utah, but if we win a couple games here, things could be very interesting. We have to beat the Anaheim Ducks and Toronto Maple Leafs if we want to make this competitive. We're going to be losing in overtime against the Ducks, but we're beating the Toronto Maple Leafs in a shutout. There is a chance that we sneak into the postseason. We are only 1 point back of the Seattle Kraken, so beating Nashville would be a very important win right here. So can we somehow walk away with a win against the Nashville Predators if this game ever simulates and it looks like we are winning? We have surpassed the Seattle Kraken. Okay, that's pretty huge. So there is a chance that the San Jose Sharks make the postseason here, even though we 1000% don't deserve to make the playoffs. We could potentially. So I'm going to simulate these next 2 games. If I'm going to jump into any games, it's probably going to be the final 4, but we do need to win one of these next 2 games. If we drop back-to-back games, we're in a lot of trouble. But not only did we win one of the 2, we are currently in a wildcard spot right now. So I actually might not have to jump into any of these games if we can just lock in and close some of these out. We have the Vancouver Canucks up next. This is a must-win for the boys, and it looks like we're winning that one. So can we beat the Nashville Predators once again? If we beat Nashville, we're almost in the postseason, and we are sitting pretty right now. We have a 2-point lead on the Utah Mammoth. We actually have a 1-point lead on the Chicago Blackhawks as well. So if we win this game, I think we're in the postseason. So this might be the game I want to jump into. So we'll go ahead and simulate a little bit of this one. If I have to jump in against the Chicago Blackhawks, I'm going to be willing to do so. But we're coming out flying in the first period. We're picking up 2 goals. In the second period, Connor Bedard and Celebrini are going to be exchanging goals. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just simulate the rest of this game. And it looks like we're coming out on top. Macklin Celebrini is picking up another goal in the third. With that victory right there, I believe we've clinched a playoff spot, and it looks like we have. So we're going to be seeing some postseason action in year number 1 with the San Jose Sharks. I certainly wasn't expecting that, but here we are. And we're also on a bit of a winning streak right now. A 4-game winning streak, I'm definitely fine with that. So as we all saw, to finish out the postseason, the San Jose Sharks weren't too bad. We snuck into the playoffs being 13th in the entire league, a 41-31-11 record. So what does that mean? We were basically 500 this season. We had 41 wins and 41 losses. Our goal differential certainly wasn't that great. We actually had a negative goal differential. We allowed 23 more goals than we scored. Yeah, I don't have the most faith heading into the postseason. Maybe Macklin Celebrini can just completely lock in and we can play a huge upset in the first round, but I just can't imagine that happening. I don't think we have the team here. I don't think we have the depth. We just have too many young guys who haven't developed yet. So don't expect too much in our first postseason appearance. We have to take on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. But you know what? I think we can hold our own with this team. Like, I'm not going to act like the Edmonton Oilers were just significantly better than us. We were definitely holding our own during the regular season against the Edmonton Oilers. So I think there is a chance that maybe we can take them down. And a win in game number 1 is huge. Can we win game 2? It doesn't look like it. We're moving into game 3. That's another win for the boys. Can we win game 4? It doesn't look like it. So game 5 might be the game we want to jump into. Like, if we could take the lead in this series heading into game number 6, I think we would be in a great spot. But you know what would be better than me jumping in order to win this game? We just win it without me jumping in. So we're exchanging goals in the first period. Bouchard and William Macklin are both picking up goals. Moving into the second, we're exchanging goals once again. This could be the game we jump into. Like, it kind of makes sense. We take a 3-2 series lead. Things would be looking good heading into game number 6, but I'll only jump in if I have to. And so far, I don't have to jump into it and then call and graph a big time goal. That goal might end up being the difference maker. If we can somehow steal this game away, which we definitely are, we're going to be sitting pretty. There's a chance San Jose makes it to the second round in year number 1. Who would have thought? Now we're going to get ourselves what I'm going to call a free game here, because if we beat the Edmonton Oilers, we move on to the second round. If we lose, we still have game 7. So I don't necessarily have to jump into this game unless I want to close it out. So honestly, we'll just see how things go here. Connor McDavid's picking up the first goal of the game. William Eklund's picking up the second. So we have a tie game entering the third. If this game goes to overtime or something, I will jump into it, but I'm not going to force it. And you know what? I might not have to force it. Alex Wenberg's picking up a big goal in the third period. As long as we can close this one out, we're going to be moving on to the second round, but we're giving Edmonton a very long power play that they are not capitalizing on. No, those boys are washed. If you can't capitalize on a 5-minute power play, you just don't deserve to win. Because what was that penalty? It had to have been a major. Yeah, it was a 5-minute major from Tyler Toffoli. Edmonton, you have to capitalize on that, but you're not. So San Jose is moving on to the second round. I don't know what's going on. Like, seriously, us moving on to the second round here does not make any sense. We barely got into the postseason, and now we're moving on to the second round, and we get the Seattle Kraken. I think we can hold our own with the Seattle Kraken. There is actually a chance we make it to the conference finals in year number 1, but we need to win some games against the Kraken, and we are just not doing that. I might jump into game number 5 here, but we're facing quite the deficit. We're down 3-1 the series. Maybe I should have only simulated 3 games, but hey, sometimes you gotta play a little bit risky. And yeah, I think this game is an absolute wash, but maybe not. We're picking up some goals in the second period. This game is not over yet. If we can somehow steal this game away right here without me having to jump into it, we still have a chance in this series. But Chandler Stevenson's picking up a big goal. Jared McCann's picking up another goal. I think San Jose might be falling here. Unless we can pick up a late goal. If Seattle capitalizes here, we're toast. But do I jump into the final 2 minutes? I think so. I want to give our team a chance to win. I don't really have too much time to work with here, but maybe I can score a quick one. Also, if you're wondering what settings I'm playing on, 5-minute periods, superstar difficulty, and I have changed one of our sliders. Basically, the slider just affects how much attributes actually impact the game, and honestly, that is just a weird slider to have, because what do you mean I want to turn that down so attributes have less of an impact? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I went ahead and maxed that out, so hopefully we get some more realistic gameplay. Now, unfortunately, I think it's safe to say that we are not winning this game, because Nick Leddy is on the ice. So we could be cooked already. No, I think we're toast. Why is Nick Leddy on the ice in this situation unless he's scoring? But no, his shots can be blocked. No, the boys are toast. Now, we're just kind of praying for a miracle right now. I don't really know what's going to happen. Celebrini, you've got the puck. Let's just see if you can create something here. Can you somehow get this to Tatar Toffoli? It's going to deflect off someone's skate. No, the boys aren't going to be winning this one. Unless Kurashev can score from there, but his shot's going to be blocked. No, we're just toast. We don't have enough time. I jumped in the final 2 minutes. I don't think we expected a victory here. Let's be completely honest. The Seattle Kraken are coming out on top. Hey, we did what we could, but it just wasn't enough. We jumped in the final 2 minutes. We were just kind of hoping for a miracle. Plus, this was game 5. Even if we won this game, we still had to make a 3-1 series comeback. That just wasn't happening. So the Colorado Avalanche are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup. They're taking down the Philadelphia Flyers in a 6-game series. But San Jose, you exceeded expectations. You guys were not expected to make the postseason, and that's what you did. And on top of making the playoffs, you made it to round number 2, taking down Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in the first round. Now, expectations are incredibly high moving forward. Celebrini, 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points. Tatar Toffoli, 11 points. Dmitry Orlov, 10 points. The only unfortunate thing about what happened is we're not going to be receiving a very good draft pick, so don't expect us to bring in any superstars here. Hopefully a lot of our young guys see some good development over the offseason. Hopefully we spend a little bit of money in free agency, and then maybe we can do that. Also, Vancouver's jumping from 9-1 with Minnesota's pick. That is certainly interesting. Meanwhile, St. Louis is jumping from 13-3, and they're also receiving the 6th overall pick from Detroit, so they're building something there. So we have ourselves the 18th overall pick, and who is available? Daxon Rudolph. Honestly, that wouldn't really be too bad. We could use some more defensive prospects, so how about we just go with the best player available? Daxon Rudolph, welcome to the team. Medium top 4 D potential, beginning as a 70 overall. I think that was the best pick we could have made. I guess we also have the 20th overall pick as well, so who do we want to go with? Well, we didn't do a lot of great scouting on a lot of these guys, so I don't really know what we go with. Maybe just best player available. So Billy Appleby, you're going to be the guy we go with. Your best player available. Hopefully you have medium top 6 potential, and it looks like you do, so that wasn't the worst selection in the world. Now, honestly, it's a little bit funny that I was disrespecting the CPU's ability to draft earlier, because boy did I not cook outside of our first round picks. Nah, like over the next 6 picks, we did not get anything notable. We didn't even get a medium top 6 potential player. I was doing a whole lot of nothing. So we basically don't have to focus on anything over the offseason because the CPU is going to be handling all free agent signings, and they're going to be handling all re-signings and extensions. So let's just move on to next season. Hopefully they make a couple somewhat competent moves here. Now, we're all well aware that the San Jose Sharks had a ton of cap space moving into this season. So what exactly did they do with it? Well, when it comes to our forward core, we did nothing. So when it comes to our defense, clearly we must have done something. No, we did not. Connor Clifton and Zach Bogosian are going to be the big signings. Maybe we got ourselves a superstar goaltender. No, we did not. So we did not spend a penny in free agency. Not really ideal. I mean, I guess we did bring in Eric Gustafsson to be a healthy scratch for us. Can't forget about that signing. But at the end of the day, we're just here to let the young guys develop. William Eklund developed. Will Smith developed. Tatar Toffoli's still an 87 overall, so we can still trust him. But yeah, I kind of would have liked to see this team spend a little bit of money in free agency, but hey, I guess it isn't the end of the world. The real question is, have we signed Macklin Celebrini to a contract extension? And it looks like we have $10.5 million for the next 5 to 6 seasons. This might be an 8-year deal with Celebrini. No, we might have cooked. Also, Will Smith is being locked down long term. Did the CPU actually do something smart for once? Never thought I would see the day. How about goaltending? We haven't re-signed Ashcroft quite yet, but it's only a matter of time before that happens. We have $26 million in cap space. Maybe we're saving money so we can make a play for Quinn Hughes next offseason. I wouldn't be against that. You guys might be onto something. Now, I have great news for San Jose Sharks fans out there. Your team took the next step. 9th in the entire league, a 35-25-4 record. The offense is looking pretty decent, 3.28 goals per game. The big problem is the defense. You guys are still allowing too many goals, but hey, you're 9th in the entire league. Right now, you're trending to make the postseason, and that's what we're looking to do. Since we made the postseason in year number 1, it's expected this team makes the playoffs every season moving forward. However, there are certainly some concerns, like Dmitry Orlov is 35 years old. He's a 92 overall, though. Low-key, you guys should be trading him away. You should be capitalizing on his trade value. When it comes to goaltending, Ashcroft's clearly the number 1. 29 wins, 2 shouts, a 910 to 298. He's going to be an amazing goaltender to build around. Already an 88 overall at 24 years old. Nah, the sky's the limit for this team. Now, similar to last season, I'm not going to be allowed to make any trades here, so we're going to go ahead and simulate the rest of this season. I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to have to jump into any regular season games. We should be able to make the playoffs. Now, to finish out the season, we had ourselves a little bit of a scare. The San Jose Sharks certainly took a step back, but we made the postseason. We had a 42, 34, and 6 record, which is technically 1 win better than last season. So yeah, we did improve. The problem was, after the trade deadline, we took a massive step back, and that shouldn't have happened. Macklin Celebrini, 87 points, Will Smith, 77, William Eklund, 75. I need you guys stepping up in those final 20 games. When we need to win those games in order to clinch the postseason, I need you guys showing up, and that didn't exactly happen. When it comes to goaltending, Ashcroft's numbers, they're okay. I mean, a 912 and a 293 are nothing to get gassed up about. Even 3 shutouts, you should be posting more shutouts than that. When it comes to our first round matchup, well, we get to take on the President's Trophy winners in the Colorado Avalanche. So yeah, expectations are pretty low heading into the postseason. Like, I'll keep it a $1.50 with you. If we are just getting completely dominated, I probably won't jump into any of these games because it's not going to make any sense. However, we did win game number 1. Game number 2 was a close one, so I actually might be jumping into games here because we are currently holding our own with the Colorado Avalanche. The past 3 games haven't gone our way, but none of them have been blowouts. So if that trend continues moving into game 5, we might be able to do something here. So game 5 is coming up. It's a must win for the San Jose Sharks. Nick Waugh and Kadri are picking up the first 2 goals, but Will Smith would respond in the second period. Yeah, this game's all over. I'm not even going to bother jumping into it. They're out shooting us 25 to 12. We are not winning this game. Yeah, there was no point in me jumping into this one. We were clearly outmatched. Like, as much as I want to jump into some games from Macklin Celebrini, if we are just being completely smoked and we have no chance at winning, there's no point in me even jumping into the game. I mean, I probably could have tied that game up and maybe we could have won in overtime or something, but at the end of the day, we still have to make a 3-1 series comeback, and even if I win you game number 5, I can't really trust you guys to win game 6 and game 7. Now, I feel like this isn't too much of a surprise, but the Avs are going back-to-back. They're winning back-to-back Stanley Cups here. We lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions. So yeah, there's nothing to be disappointed about. We lost to a better team, but we got to start making some moves here. We got to start making some plays in order to improve this team, because clearly we don't have enough superstars. However, we do have a ton of cap space to work with. We've already locked down a ton of our important pieces, so let's make a move in free agency. Who are some pending free agents we could go after? Cale Makar, Nikita Kucherov, Ovi, Mark Stone, Vince Dunn. Although some of these guys are older, Vince Dunn would actually be a great pickup. Tolvanen would be a great pickup. Even a guy like Jared McCann makes quite a bit of sense. So San Jose, I'm expecting at least 1 elite player, especially considering we have all the important pieces locked down here. Like, here are all the expiring contracts. I can live with none of these guys coming back to the team. And then when it comes to goaltending, yeah, we should re-sign Ashcroft, like give him a deal at some point. So we have ourselves the 17th overall pick in the upcoming draft, and Tate Stevens, you are one guy I'm interested in bringing to the team. Your NHL ETA is only 2 years away. You have medium top 6 potential. Like, this is the only other player I'm interested in. However, they have a similar style to Nick Leddy. Okay, that is 1000% not happening. Tate Stevens, welcome to the team. You're a 67 overall left wing power forward. Yeah, I will definitely bring you in over somebody who has a similar style to Nick Leddy. Unless we're talking about a prime Nick Leddy, which I could definitely live with. However, I don't think they were talking about a prime Nick Leddy. I think they were talking about current day Nick Leddy, and yeah, I don't want that. Also, you didn't see that draft pick. We took a swing. It was worth it, but we're going to pretend it didn't happen. Also, we're probably just going to pretend with the rest of our draft picks, because what exactly did our scouts do? No, these boys just took the year off, apparently. So over the offseason, the San Jose Sharks had a ridiculous amount of money to work with. So what exactly did they do with that money? Well, they brought in Paul Cotter. Can't be mad at that. And that's about it. We didn't do anything else. We signed nobody. We brought back the same team. So we didn't cook at all, in the slightest. Thankfully, I can take over in a number of seasons, or at least I get partial takeover where I can make a couple moves per season. Like, dog, what exactly did you guys do? Okay, apparently you spent all of your money. You have $8.6 million. Where did you spend said money? I mean, I guess we did have two big extensions kick in. Dmitry Orlov's gained 10.7 million. You know what? I kind of understand where our money went now. Also, Askarov, how much are you getting? Oh, that explains it. 13.5. So yeah, we just spent a lot of money and didn't necessarily make our team any better, so that's not really that great. But you know what? We've been able to make the postseason the past 2 years. We still have an amazing coaching staff. We still have a handful of elite players that we can build around. But yeah, you should probably sign some players that aren't just bottom 6 pieces that really aren't going to play for us. We need some top 6 guys. Also, John Cooper's our head coach. It was only a matter of time before we brought him in. Now, I was a little bit concerned with our San Jose Sharks heading into this season because at the end of the day, they really didn't do too much over the offseason. But boy, was I wrong. Third in the entire league, a 39-20-4 record. We're scoring 3.43 goals per game right now, which is a pretty elite offense. We're only allowing 2.68 goals per game, so that's an incredible defense. We might be onto something. This San Jose Sharks team actually might be able to compete for a Stanley Cup right now. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting we were going to be bad for a couple more years, but no, we've locked in. Will Smith, 73 points so far. Macklin Celebrini, 32 goals, 38 assists for 70 points. This is a dynamic duo, and they're absolutely dominating. Can't forget about William Eklund because he's holding up his end of the bargain. And then when it comes to goaltending, Askarov is a superstar. 31 wins, 4 shouts, a 924 and a 250. San Jose, I think it's time you win a Stanley Cup. It's time to get Macklin Celebrini as first, so let's just lock in. Now, after the trade deadline, the Sharks did take a little bit of a step back, but we're still looking pretty solid. 6th in the entire league, a 48-26-8 record. I think it's time that Macklin Celebrini wins the Stanley Cup. It has taken far too long to get to this point. It really hasn't because it's only been 3 years, but Celebrini at the ripe age of 21, I think you deserve a Stanley Cup. A 96 overall, medium franchise potential. Let's go win you a Stanley Cup this season. Askarov, 38 wins, 6 shouts, a 921 and 255. As long as those numbers continue into the postseason, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to stop us. We're taking on Chicago in the first round. Let's make a statement. So Chicago, not only am I looking to sweep you, I want to score 15 goals per game. I want the Sharks to absolutely dominate Chicago. They don't deserve to be in this series. That's how bad we're going to beat them. And right now we're rolling. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a sweep, but we will take them down 5 games and move on to the next round. Or we're going to drop this game. Hold on now. We can't afford to drop another game here. Unless this is an absolute blowout or we're winning this game, we're likely jumping into this one. Because what do you mean we've lost 2 games in a row now? We have to take down the Chicago Blackhawks. There is no reason we should be struggling, and I think we're going to walk away with the victory, or not. We're going to allow 3 unanswered. Andre Burakovsky's picking up a huge goal. We have game 7. We were up 3-0, and now we need game 7. So I am a little bit shook. I am not going to lie. Because we should not be in this position right now. We should have taken down Chicago and we should be moving on. But nope, we are struggling against the Blackhawks. What is going on here? We're picking up 3 goals in the first period. That's cool. Connor Bedard's responding in the second. Do not lose this game. San Jose, whatever you do not lose this game. Wenberg's picking up a big goal, but I'm still not confident here. He's picking up another big goal. Still not confident. Ryan Darnell scoring a power play goal. We still have a 2-goal lead right now. But I am scared. I'm actually very scared Chicago's going to make this comeback. Even though we're down to the final 5 minutes, I still think they can make this comeback. Alex Vlasic's picking up a big time goal. Just don't allow another goal in the next minute here and we'll be perfectly fine. And it looks like we're fine. We're winning this one 5-4. But man, the Blackhawks put a lot of pressure on us. Like, we should not have been struggling as much as we were. Like, there is literally no reason we should be struggling against the Blackhawks right now. Like, what are we talking about? So we're moving on to the second round to take on the Edmonton Oilers. And if you're wondering why the face cam looks a little bit different, I just adjusted the lighting because I looked very, very orange. And I don't know why I look that orange. Now, game number 4 is an interesting one. If we win this game, we have a 3-1 series lead. So maybe I want to jump into this one. If I can give the San Jose Sharks a 3-1 series lead, I'm pretty confident we'll be able to take down Edmonton, but I guess I don't have to jump into this one because we're going to win it without my help. We got ourselves a 3-1 series lead on the Edmonton Oilers, so all we have to do is win one more game here, but unfortunately that's not going to be happening in game number 5. So maybe we'll just close out in game number 6, and it looks like that's exactly what we're doing. We're moving on to the conference finals. We are 4 wins away from making it to the Stanley Cup final, but now we have to take down the Utah Mammoth. Utah's a pretty good team, but I'm not sure if they're quite as good as us. Maybe we should jump into game number 4 here. We could take a commanding 3-1 series lead. I guess we'll just see what happens. I'm itching to jump into a game. Like, I want to see a little bit of gameplay that isn't the final 2 minutes of a game. Because seriously, I don't know what I was cooking up. Why did I jump into the final 2 minutes against the Seattle Kraken? That didn't even make any sense. But at the end of the day, we can't really focus too much on that. Tyler Toffoli's picking up a big time goal. We have a 1-goal lead entering the final 10 minutes. If we hold on to this lead, which we definitely will, we're taking a 3-1 series lead, and we are officially 1 game away from moving on. So San Jose, just give me that win. Give me a win in game 5 so we can move on to the Stanley Cup final. I don't really like you guys allowing 6 goals in game number 5. That is not really ideal, but you know what? I'll take a 4-3 win in game number 6. We are moving on to the Stanley Cup final. Only one team stands in front of us, and that team is the Philadelphia Flyers, and we are flying so far. 1 game away from hoisting the Stanley Cup, and we're going to do it in a sweep. The San Jose Sharks, Stanley Cup champions, and I didn't even get to jump into any games. No, let me get some gameplay in this video. What do you mean the only gameplay we've gotten so far is 2 minutes against the Seattle Kraken when we were down by 1 goal? I want to score a game 7 winner or something. Come on now, let me lock in. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to score a Stanley Cup winning goal, but we're Stanley Cup champions anyway. Macklin Celebrini, 11 goals, 14 helpers, 25 points. William Macklin, 23 points. Will Smith, 20. Shout out to Dmitry Orlov, a superstar defenseman for us. Who would have thought? He's already dropped 6 overalls, but he's been that guy. And then Askarov, 16 wins, 1 shutout, a 915, a 278. You're off to an incredible start in your career. A 90 overall at 25 years old. And with every elite young talent on this team locked down long term, I expect big things from us in the future. Also, I guess we will take a quick look at awards this season, because I want to see if any of our guys are taking home any. Of course, we will be taking home 1 trophy. And what is that trophy going to be? The Conn Smythe. And that's going to Macklin Celebrini. Congrats, bro. But can we talk about the season that Cale Makar just had? Bro apparently is the greatest player of all time. Like, this doesn't even make any sense. But shout out to our man, Macklin Celebrini, taking home his first big award of the video. That's going to be the Conn Smythe Trophy. I can guarantee you right now, that's the first of many. Alright, I'm not going to lie to you. If I see another defenseman with a similar style to Nick Leddy, I'm going to lose it. I'm actually going to pass up on this player just because of that. I'm going to go with this defenseman right here. Even though we have no scouting done on him whatsoever, he was a gem, and I trust him more than Nick Leddy. So Peacock, welcome to the team. You can't be any worse than Nick Leddy. Now, although we're probably not going to need a mediumly potential goaltender in this video, I'm still going to draft Marvin Outlaw. Like, we have Ravensburgen and Askarov. What more could we possibly need in between the pipes? But Outlaw, if you can turn into a superstar, then why not? Now, this is going to be the final off season where I'm not going to be allowed to make any moves. After this one right here, I'm going to be allowed to make 3 moves per year, whether that's trades or free agent signings. I can start impacting the roster a little bit, but as of right now, I can't do anything. But I do want to say, our CPU GM is kind of cooking. Like, we were able to win a Stanley Cup in 2028, and I didn't even have to jump into any of our games. So that's an amazing sign for the future. Hopefully we can turn this team into a dynasty. So if the boys were good enough to win last season, let's run it back again. Except Quentin Musty's finally going to be jumping into the lineup. He's going to be a big time bottom 6 performer. When it comes to our defense, Dickinson's up to an 86, so I think it's time for him to take over. The rest of the defense, a little bit questionable here, but hey, we have Askarov in between the pipes, Ravensburgen backing him up. I think we'll be okay. Like, the offense was really solid last season. The defense was really good as well. As long as we can replicate that, we're looking at back-to-back Stanley Cups. Now, you remember the good old days when the San Jose Sharks were an elite team winning Stanley Cups? Yeah, those days were fun. And those days were also last season. 16th in the entire league, a 33-28-1 record. What has happened to this team? Our defense has collapsed. Our offense has collapsed. Even though it is virtually the exact same team, we have just fallen off a cliff here. I don't know what happened. I am so happy I can take over next season, because clearly we have to make some adjustments. We got to make some big time moves, because this team is not ready to compete anymore. We had a lot of amazing young guys in the system. However, those guys just haven't developed into the superstars that I need. But that's actually a slight lie, because Will Smith has turned into a very good player. Macklin Celebrini has turned into a really good player, and William Eklund has turned into a really good player. The main problem is we have nothing outside of that big 3. So yeah, I'm going to have to make some moves next season. Hopefully we can somehow sneak into the postseason, because there is no way we're going from from Stanley Cup winners to missing the playoffs the following year. Like, who does that? Only poverty franchises do that. Okay, I can't believe we're having to deal with this in the year 2029, but we might not make the playoffs. I might have to jump into a regular season game in order for the San Jose Sharks to make the postseason, and that's not right. Not right whatsoever. We won the Stanley Cup last season, and now we're fighting for a wild card spot. That's just not right. Those 2 wins against St. Louis and Nashville are huge. If we can win 3 in a row, I think we almost clinch a playoff spot, but we're going to be falling to the Rangers. We are very close to clinching a playoff spot here. As long as we can pick up 1 point against Columbus, I think we're okay. So I would even take an overtime loss, but we're not getting an overtime loss. Luckily, the right teams are going to be losing, and we've officially clinched a playoff spot, even though we're on a 2-game losing streak. Hopefully it's not a 3-game losing streak. We're going to finish the season off with a win, but yeah, I still don't have the most confidence in the world. So last season must have been a fluke for the San Jose Sharks. Even though we're sneaking into the postseason, 13th in the entire league with a 45-36-1 record, we are frauds. We really can't compete with the top teams in the entire league, but maybe we can because we did win a Stanley Cup with this team last season. I don't really know what to think. Are we elite? Are we frauds? I guess it doesn't really matter what I think at the end of the day, because if we step up in the postseason and bring home another Stanley Cup, then we solidify ourselves as one of the best teams in the entire league, regardless of where we finish in the standings. We're taking on the Anaheim Ducks in the postseason. This is a team that we just beat in Game 82, so we already know what they're about, and we already know that we can beat them. Or at least we know we can beat them in single elimination. When it comes to a best-of-7 series, anything can happen. So a win in Game 1 would be huge here, and that's exactly what's happening, but we're dropping Game 2 7-3. No, we can't be doing that. Luckily, we're going to respond in Game number 3, but what do you mean we allowed 7 goals in Game number 2? We got to tee up here. A loss in Game number 4 is definitely not something we wanted. Hopefully, we respond in Game number 5. Like, we have not been playing good defense. It looks like we're going to win Game 5, win Game number 6 now so we can move on to the second round, and it looks like that's exactly what we're doing. So San Jose, I don't know what to believe right now. Like, you guys are just very, very confusing. There are moments where you look like the best team in the entire league, and then there are moments where I question how on earth you made the postseason because it doesn't make sense. Like this run you're on right now, you have won 5 games in a row, but then you're going to allow 6 goals. So are you an elite team? Are you complete frauds? I guess nobody really knows, but we've made it to the conference finals. 13th in the entire league, by the way, and we've made it to the conference finals. We now have to take on the Chicago Blackhawks, but Chicago is dominating. Now I might have to jump into game number 4 just to avoid the sweep. It's not necessarily about winning the series, but we have to avoid the sweep. We cannot get swept by the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to trust this team to close it out in the third, and if we're able to do that, we still might have a chance in this series. Will Smith's picking up a big goal. I'll simulate the rest of it. It's tied 4-4. Yeah, let me pick up an OT winner. We have seen very little gameplay so far, but Macklin Celebrini, it's time for me to step up for you. Why are you the assistant captain? No, we got to fix that. Like, if we lose our next game by 8 goals, I can live with that. As long as we don't drop game number 4, Macklin Celebrini refuses to get swept. That's just not going to happen. Okay, I'm not going to lie. As I am playing right now, I can clearly tell who the better team is. Dog, what did I just see? Okay, Bertuzzi with an absolute rocket. We are getting swept. But as I was about to say, I can tell who the higher overall players on the ice are because, man, we are just getting outworked. But excuse me, Tyler Bertuzzi, just an absolute rocket. I'm not even mad at that. Except I low-key am. Ashcroft, you have to make that save. I'm sorry. Like, yes, Connor Clifton was slightly out of position there, but dog, you gotta help me. You gotta make that stop. So the Chicago Blackhawks are officially sweeping the San Jose Sharks, but were we really gonna make a 3-0 series comeback? I don't think so, especially if we're allowing goals like that. I'm sorry, Askarov, you were completely square to that shot. You have to make the save there. Could have I played some better defense? Absolutely. But you got to make a stop for me. So after that Bertuzzi goal, the Chicago Blackhawks are going to go on to win a Stanley Cup, but it's now time for me to take over. I'm allowed to make 3 moves per season moving forward, and I immediately know what those moves are going to be. Picking up a defenseman and rebuilding our top 6. Because I like Will Smith, I like Macklin Celebrini, and I like William Eklund, but we need more support here. Also, -11, -12, and -12 is crazy work, considering you had 12 points, 13 points, and 16 points. Like, what were you guys actually doing out there? You were not outscoring your problems. Ashcroft, the numbers were very mid, but I've officially gained partial control of the San Jose Sharks. I can start making some moves here, and I can start making us better, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Alright, so let's immediately make a splash at the draft. Like, I am wasting no time here. William Eklund and Zach Jones are both being sent over to Calgary. Zane Parekh, I need you to be our number one. We need a superstar defenseman we can rely on. Sam Dickinson is good, but I'm not sure if he's going to be the guy in the future. I'll trade the 61st overall as well. Zane Parekh, welcome to the team. Now we have ourselves 2 reliable defensemen. Sam Dickinson, you and Zane Parekh on the top pairing is going to be amazing. But we're still not done because we clearly have to make some more moves. Like Wenberg, I definitely have to ship you out. What do you mean you're getting paid $8 million for the next 3? I'm not doing that for a 34-year-old. Now, I feel like this deal could potentially backfire on us because I feel like McGroarty's going to ask for $11 million, but we'll find a way to make it work. Alex Wenberg and a 3rd-round pick's being given up. McGroarty, welcome to the team. I'll give you the 221st overall as well. Like, this deal is bound to backfire on us. Maybe we have to give up a 2nd-round pick, and I'm not against giving up a 2nd-round pick in this deal. But yeah, McGroarty, you better sign a reasonable deal with the team. You better not ask for $15 million. I know that's going to be the case, and I'm still doing this deal. That tells you how insane I've gone. So we're going to pull off one more trade, and then these are going to be the 3 moves that I'm making. Stevens, Daxton Rudolph, and the 93rd overall pick. We're looking to bring in Dawson Mercer as well as Siegenthaler. We need a defensive defenseman here. We need another sniper. I think this is a relatively good trade for us. I think this is going to help us over the long run. I don't necessarily want to give up any more prospects in this deal. I would throw a guy like Connor Clifton in the deal though, so maybe we do that. Connor Clifton, he's just too slow. He can't keep up to the play anymore. Siegenthaler definitely will be able to though. They're saying no, but they just want a 7th-round pick. So we have traded away a handful of draft picks, but we have certainly made our team a lot better. So I'll go ahead and make our 1st-round selection, but after that, we basically don't have to worry about the draft. We're not going to have to worry about the off season because I've done as much as I can. Hopefully the 3 trades I made have definitely improved this team. We just got a medium top 6 potential defenseman. Good thing we made all those trades because if we didn't, that would have been a tough way to start out the off season. Now I went ahead and made some moves over the off season and I certainly improved this team. Dawson Mercer is going to play 1st-line minutes. McGroarty's playing 1st-line minutes. Nah, our top 6 is still relatively chopped right now, but you know what? We'll find a way to make it work. When it comes to our defense, that's actually looking a lot better. And you know what? Joel Edmondson, I have no clue why you're here. This was the CPU's lone free agent signing, I believe. They brought in 36-year-old Joel Edmondson, who has 2.5 stars in his skating attributes. We are cooked. Like, we are in the absolute trenches. What was the thought process in that signing? Like, I went out there and brought in Siegenthaler to be a great defensive defenseman, and they said, you know what, I'm going to match that stick on the ice. I'm going to bring my own defensive defenseman, and that defenseman is going to be 36-year-old Joel Edmondson. No disrespect to Joel Edmondson. He was that man in his prime. He is not in his prime in the year 2029. I can just tell you that for a fact. But at the end of the day, the team is certainly better. Hopefully this time in the postseason, we're not going to allow a stupid goal to Tyler Bertuzzi. Because yeah, I still haven't gotten over that shot. I'm not even mad at the sweep anymore, because that was just a ridiculous shot. Now, originally when I moved out William Eklund, I know there were some people out there questioning the move. Maybe I shouldn't be moving on from one of our top players. A 46-14-6 record at the trade deadline. It was worth it. Yes, William Eklund was a great piece for us, but we had to change some things up here, and clearly those changes have helped us a ton. Celebrini, 46 goals and 40 helpers for 86 points right now. Zane Parekh, 68 points. He is plus 62. Nah, the moves we made definitely helped this team. Dawson Mercer, I brought you in to score goals. You are not scoring goals, but you're good enough on the first line that I'll look the other way. When it comes to goaltending, Ashcroft is a superstar this season. Nah, he's taking home the Vezina and the William Jennings. Macklin Celebrini is going to take home the Rocket Richard, the Ted Lindsay, the Hart Trophy. He's taking home everything. But at the end of the day, those individual awards don't really mean too much, because we want to win the most important one, and that of course is the Stanley Cup. So no more collapsing when the lights are the brightest. We need to step up, and no more allowing stupid goals to Tyler Bertuzzi, because I still haven't gotten over that. Now I think we all know what type of timing the San Jose Sharks are on. It's revenge season. We will win, and we will beat everyone. Nobody is going to stop us. Celebrini, 50 goals, 49 helpers, 99 points. Zane Parekh, a point a game. Will Smith, 79. We're not messing around this time. We will win a Stanley Cup. Ashcroft just had 12 shutouts, a 933 and a 205. Joel Edmondson, what did your numbers look like? Was I sleeping on you? Low key. 6 goals, 7 assists, 13 points. He was plus 16. Nah, bro was him. Straight up. He was that guy. Shakir Mukhamadullin was also a stud. Nah, there was a couple guys on this team I was questioning, but everyone is stepping up big time. We have the Utah Mammoth in the first round. If we want to get our revenge against the Chicago Blackhawks, it's not going to happen until the conference finals. So let's just go 8-0 up until that point. Like, we are not playing around. 8-0 up until the conference finals, and then we will sweep the Chicago Blackhawks. We are going to start the postseason 12-0. We will accept nothing less. We're winning game number 1, and then we're dropping game 2. The plan was not to drop game number 2. The plan was to go 12-0 up until the Stanley Cup final, and then we could lose one game in the Stanley Cup final. But you know what? I'll take a 5-game series over Utah. We can move on to the second round, or lose. Yeah, you can do that as well. Whatever you do, don't drop game number 6. Okay, we need game 7 in the first round. Do not rely on me to win you this game in the first round. I shouldn't have to step into a game like this, but I might just have to. Truthfully, we're probably better off trusting the simulation than trusting me, because I'll do something incredibly stupid. But you know what? I want to put the team on my shoulders, and I want to carry them to a Stanley Cup, also known as a first round win. Because yeah, we have to win here in the first round. I can't be talking about a Stanley Cup when we haven't even made it out of the first round. Kurashev has the game-winning goal right now. We're down to the final 5 minutes. Just play good defense for the next 3 minutes. And you know what's better than good defense? Good offense. Show it to Adam Gaudette's shorthanded goal. So we're moving on to the second round. Certainly not a sweep. But you know what? A win is a win, and we're moving on. So who do we have to take on the second round? It looks like it's going to be the Edmonton Oilers. We have faced off against the Oilers a lot in this video, and we've actually been able to beat them a handful of times. So how about we do that again right now? We're winning game 1. We're winning game 2. Can we win game 3 as well? Is it going to be a sweep over the Edmonton Oilers? All we have to do is win one more game. And can we win that game? Of course not, because the San Jose Sharks do not sweep anyone. This team very rarely sweeps anyone. I think the only time we've swept somebody is in the Stanley Cup final against the Philadelphia Flyers. If that was a sweep, it was so long ago, I can't even remember. In reality, it wasn't that long ago. It was just 2 seasons ago. But you know what? We got to focus on this season right here, and the fact that we could be down 3-1 unless we win game number 4. So game number 4 is a must win for the San Jose Sharks. We cannot afford to drop this game to the Dallas Stars. We have a 3-1 lead entering the third. I'll simulate a little bit of this one, but I think we should be able to take this one home. If we can get through this power play without allowing a goal, I think we're going to win this one. Zane Preck's going to pick up an empty net goal, but we're still live in this series, and we're actually going to even this series up. So that's exactly what we needed. We needed a game number 4 win. I didn't want to fall to a 3-1 series deficit, but now that this game's tied up, it's a best of 3 moving forward. So just win me game number 5, and that's exactly what we're doing. We have allowed 1 goal over the past 2 games. Let's keep that going moving into game 6, but it's not going to be that simple. We have game 7 coming up. Game 7 to decide who moves on to the Stanley Cup final. Will it be the San Jose Sharks, or is it going to be the Dallas Stars? We will find out right here. Adam Gaudette's picking up the first goal of the game. Moving into the second, Colin Graff's picking up a big one. We have a 2-goal lead moving into the third. Just continue to play elite defense and we will be fine. And it looks like our elite defense is continuing, and that's going to be on top of some amazing offense. We're going to be walking away with the victory in this one 4-1. Shout out to Ascroft. He has been an absolute superstar as of recent, and because of his heroics, we're moving on to the Stanley Cup final. We are 4 wins away from hoisting another Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup number 2 over the past 3 years, but there's one team left in front of us, and that team is the Buffalo Sabres. We could take a 3-1 series lead, and I would love for us to take a 3-1 series lead here. So let's see what game number 4 has to offer. If we can take a 3-1 series lead, the odds of us winning this series skyrocket. It's going to be like 90%. We have a 1-goal lead entering the third period. I'm going to trust the San Jose Sharks, and that was clearly the right decision. We're taking this one 4-3, and we are officially 1 game away from hoisting the Stanley Cup. So it all comes down to game number 5. We currently have a 3-1 series lead. If we can just outscore the Buffalo Sabres in this game right here, we are officially Stanley Cup champions for the second time in the past 3 years, but we need to take down Buffalo. Claude Giroux is picking up a second period goal. I'm just going to simulate the third. Michael Misa scoring. Nah, you have to allow me to score the winner. Let me score the Stanley Cup winning goal. You have to give me this one. Also, Macklin Celebrini is still the assistant captain. I still haven't changed that. Remind me at the end of the season in the comments below. Even though the comments are going to be posted after this video is recorded, yeah, that makes sense. Nah, but if you comment down below telling me to make Macklin Celebrini the captain, I will somehow remember to do that, even though that logic makes absolutely no sense. So here goes Dawson Mercer just flying into the zone, and he has space to win this one, and that is exactly what he's doing. Dawson Mercer, I did not realize you had the X Factor wheels, and you put those wheels to work. You blew by the defense, and just like that, the San Jose Sharks are Stanley Cup champions for the second time in 3 years. Nah, Dawson Mercer, I did not realize you had wheels like that. I really didn't. Also, we're about to learn who the captain of this team is, and I'm starting to think it's Will Smith. I think there is a very good chance Will Smith is our captain. I guess we'll figure out who it is when they hoist the Stanley Cup, but shout out to our Conn Smythe winner, Macklin Celebrini. 10 goals, 18 assists for 28 points. Bro is an absolute superstar, and he's taken home the Conn Smythe for the second time in 3 years. But who is our captain? We are about to find that out in just a couple moments. I honestly have no clue who it is. Now, when it comes to the captain for the San Jose Sharks, this one actually kind of makes a little bit of sense. Dmitry Orlov is going to be our captain. For a second, I was thinking it was going to be Will Smith, but this actually makes a lot more sense. Congratulations, Dmitry Orlov. You get to hoist the Stanley Cup first, but this is going to be the last season that you're the first man to hoist it, because Macklin Celebrini, well, you're going to be taking over as the captain next season. It's a passing of the torch moment. Not only is he passing the Stanley Cup over to Macklin Celebrini, but he's also passing the captaincy, because I am immediately going to go and fix that. Before I go and fix that, let's just take a quick look at this Dawson Mercer goal, because this man just went coast to coast. He just flew up the ice. I don't know what happened with the defenseman here. Owen Power, I have no clue why you're skating all the way over, but you're going to collide with Rasmus Dahlin, and that's going to give Dawson Mercer more than enough space. He's going to have the goaltender bite on that one. A wide open net. He's tucking that one home, and just like that, Dawson Mercer is scoring the game-winning goal, an overtime winner to allow the San Jose Sharks to hoist the Stanley Cup. No, that's going to be a moment he never forgets. Now, we all know Macklin Celebrini is going to be our Conn Smythe winner, but how was the rest of the team looking? Honestly, not too bad. We had some pretty amazing depth scoring throughout the entire lineup, but Askarov, I need to check on your numbers. 16 wins, 2 shutouts, a 927 and a 234. The main reason we have won 2 Stanley Cups over the past 3 seasons, this man right here. When he is locked in, he is locked in, and nobody else in the league can compete with us. So basically what I'm saying, Askarov, just keep on doing this and we can complete a 10-peat or something. I guess we should also check in with the award winners and see what else Macklin Celebrini is going to be taking home. It appears that Zane Prek is going to be winning the Norris Trophy. Bro definitely deserved it. Celebrini is taking home the Conn Smythe. Askarov's going to win the Vezina and the William Jennings. No surprise there. But Celebrini, are you winning any other awards outside the Conn Smythe? That doesn't look like it. But hey, I will give up an Art Ross Trophy, a Hart Trophy, a Rocco Richard, and a 10th Lindsay in order for you to keep on winning Conn Smythe trophies. Because if you're winning the Conn Smythe Trophy, that means you're likely winning the Stanley Cup. Unless you're Connor McDavid, then you win it even though you lost. Now, unfortunately, our success in the postseason isn't really going to translate to the draft. We're not going to be walking away with any mediumly potential prospects. We didn't even get a lowly potential prospect, but hey, that's not the end of the world. The Sharks are the reigning Stanley Cup champions, and this is the beginning of our 8-peat. Now, we've made it through the re-sign phase, and of course, that means it's time for me to make my 3 moves. Now, what exactly do I want to do here? Well, we have 16.5 million, so if we do want to make a big play here, it is possible for us to do so. But who do we want to bring in? Low-key, Quinton Byfield is a very interesting player, but I don't know if I want to commit $15.3 million to him. I feel like that doesn't make any sense. Letting Colin Graf walk was probably the right decision. Bro wants $11 million. Yeah, I am 1000% not doing that. But who do we want to bring in to be a big time player for us? I don't really know if any of these names are jumping out at me, except for Hyndman, because $4.9 million for the next 3 years really isn't too bad, especially as an 85 overall. So I'm going to offer him that exact contract. Hopefully he's going to be joining the team. So that's going to be one of our 3 moves. When it comes to another move we can make, Jack Quinn, I low-key like this deal. 3.6 for 1 season. What if we did multiple years though? Then you're looking for 3.8 million. Honestly, it's not the end of the world. So I'll give you $4 million for the next 2 seasons. Hopefully you're going to be willing to accept that. And then we'll go ahead and make 1 trade. Like, although Dawson Mercer scored a huge goal for us, and honestly, it was a game changer, I think we do need a better sniper in our top 6. So Quentin Musty, maybe it makes sense to move on from a guy like yourself. You're 24 years old, only an 86 overall. We currently have you qualified as an RFA. Maybe we ship out him along with somebody else. Like, if we ship him out alongside Peacock, we can probably get a really good right wing sniper, and I think that could be the move, even though I kind of want to hold on to Peacock. So maybe I don't do that. Maybe I trade a draft pick instead. Like, maybe I give up multiple second rounders, Let's just go see what's out there. Okay, I think this could be the move. Cole Caulfield is currently on the final year of his contract. If we package up Quentin Musty with 2 second-round picks, we can probably get this done. So I'm going to offer this over to Montreal. They are saying no. What about first-round picks? Are you interested in first-rounders? Yes, they are. So I'll take out this season's second-round pick, make that a first-rounder. We're going to walk away with Cole Caulfield. I will give up 2 years of first-round picks. I don't care what it takes. You're telling me we're going to have Cole Caulfield playing alongside Macklin Celebrini? No, we got ourselves a team here. Here's 2 second-rounders. I don't care if this is a huge overpayment. We got Cole Caulfield. I will take that deal any day of the week. I don't even care what he wants when it comes to an extension. He will receive that extension. Cole Caulfield, I don't care if you're not interested. 14 million, that's a steal in my eyes. Like, I'm not even going to negotiate too much here. Here's 13.5 for the next 8 years. Cole Caulfield's coming back to the team. Now, you remember how I had plans of making those 2 free agent signings and then trading for Cole Caulfield? Yeah, well, apparently the San Jose Sharks had other plans, so they went out and brought Brett Pesce to the team, overriding my 2 free agent signings because they wanted to give him 5.8 million. So yeah, I'm actually allowed to make 2 more moves still because we have Brett Pesce on the team now and not Hyman or Jack Quinn. So that is just fantastic. Now, because the CPU GM decided to override 2 of my moves, I'm going to make a new move here, and that move is going to be trading Ravensbergen and Kiefer Sherwood over to the St. Louis Blues. Jake Neighbors, Dalibor Dvorsky, and Tarasov are all being brought in. We're not going to be able to keep Ravensbergen on the team next season, and even if we do have the cap space to keep him on the team, I'm not paying him $8 million to be a backup goaltender for us. That's not happening. On top of that, we get rid of Kiefer Sherwood's contract for this season. That frees up about $4 million, so that allows us to make one more move, and I think that move just will be picking up somebody in free agency. We probably could have gotten something else back in that deal, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. So who do we want to bring in? Sharon Govich, honestly, you could be a decent bottom 6 player for me, but I'm not really sure if that's the move. Jimmy Snuggerud wouldn't be a bad pickup, but what do you know about Philip Forsberg? Shout out to the stick on the ice legend, Philip Forsberg. Absolute legend. So the San Jose Sharks are the reigning Stanley Cup champions, and over the offseason, we made some big moves. One of those big moves was picking up Cole Caulfield. He's going to be a game changer for us. Our top 6 is looking fantastic. Our defense looks amazing as well. We were the best team in the entire league during the regular season, and then we were the best team in the entire league during the postseason. So why would that be any different this season? Ascroft, just do exactly what you did last season and we'll be perfectly fine. Like, this man is playing at a different level. He's a 93 overall. We're set for the future. We've already won 2 Stanley Cups with Macklin Celebrini, but obviously 2 aren't enough. We want to give this man the greatest career of all time, so let's win 10 with him. Do you see what I see right now? We have clinched the postseason. We have 52 wins. We are scoring 4.14 goals per game. We are allowing 2.29. We have scored 117 more goals than we have allowed right now. It's our time. We are going back-to-back. Stanley Cup number 3 in the past 4 years. Macklin Celebrini, he's taken home the Art Ross. He's taken home the Hart. He has taken home every award imaginable, except for the goaltending awards, because those are going to Ascroft. And I guess that should also include awards that go to defensemen, because Zane Parek's taking those home. We are unstoppable. We're going to win. It's only a matter of time. Now, San Jose, I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit disappointed in you guys. I was hoping for 65 wins. I was hoping that we could break the win record, but unfortunately, we took a step back after the trade deadline. Hopefully that's not a sign for things to come, because the postseason is around the corner, and if we want to win another Stanley Cup here, I can't have you guys playing like a below average team. We need to play like the super team that we are. I know we can score in the big games. I know every player on this team, from the top of the lineup to the bottom of the lineup, can show up when the lights are the brightest. So let's just do that again. Stanley Cup number 3 in 4 years. It's time to get our revenge against Chicago. We get to face them in the first round. Nah, this is the perfect place to get revenge. Now, Chicago, I'm going to keep it $1.50. What happened to you guys? I thought you were supposed to be battling it out against the San Jose Sharks in the conference finals year after year. I thought you guys were building yourselves a dynasty to compete with our dynasty. Apparently not. You might be able to win game number 1, but we're going to win every game after that. We're going to make quick work of you guys. It's a 5-game series and we're moving on. But seriously, I thought Chicago and San Jose was going to be the next great NHL rivalry. I thought these two teams were going to match up in the conference finals year after year. I really thought we were going to be battling it out, but apparently apparently not. Apparently the Chicago Blackhawks just aren't quite good enough to compete with the San Jose Sharks. I don't know what it is. Maybe their GM just isn't quite as good as ours, because Stick on the Ice is the San Jose Sharks GM, and as we all know, he is the greatest general manager in NHL history. Right now, we're trailing by 1 goal entering the third period. We're currently down 2-1 in the series. I don't really want to fall to a 3-1 series deficit. I also don't want to jump to the game this early. I didn't mean to try to jump into this one. There's still a lot of time left in this game. Let's let it simulate a little bit longer. But we had ourselves a long 5-on-3 power play. We should have been able to capitalize. But the second that power play is ending, Cole Caulfield, Will Smith, Shakir Moukmadoulan, 3 big-time goals in a matter of a couple seconds. We're taking down Edmonton, and just like that, this series is all tied up. I was originally a little bit concerned about potentially falling to a 3-1 series deficit, but I guess we don't have to worry about that. It's a best of 3 moving forward. Game number 5 is, of course, the most important, and we're going to win game 5. Can we now win game number 6? Yes, we can. We're moving on to the conference finals, and this is where we should be taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. But instead, they're just going to be complete frauds, and they're going to be a wild card team. Nah, y'all got to lock in. There is no reason you should be a wild card team in the year 2031. You should be competing with the San Jose Sharks for the Western Conference title, but instead, you guys are just going to be complete frauds. Jake Neighbors and Cale Makar are going to be exchanging goals here in game number 4. In the second period, it looks like Colorado's going to be taking the lead. Last time we were in this position, we made a late comeback. Hopefully we can do that again. But you know what? How about instead of making a late comeback, we just make an early one? Jake Neighbors is scoring 3 minutes into the third period. We still have ourselves a tie game, but just like that, Jake Neighbors again. He is stepping up in the big time moments. Back-to-back goals in the third. Did he have a hat trick in this one? It looks like he did. Shout out to the St. Louis Blue legend and Jake Neighbors. So that was a huge game number 4 win, but you know it would be bigger than that, a win in game number 5, but it appears the Colorado Avalanche are coming out on top. It looks like we might be jumping into game number 6. I need to allow the San Jose Sharks to get a big time win here in order for Macklin Celebrini to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. We have a 1-goal lead, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough. Because at the end of the day, I feel like it's only a matter of time before the Colorado Avalanche find the back of the net. They're not going to find the back of the net on their incredibly long power play though, so maybe we're going to be walking away with the win in this one. We're down to the final 3 minutes. Can we hold on for another 2 minutes? It looks like it. We're actually going to be picking up an empty net goal. Shout out to Dalibor Dvorsky. We're off to game 7 once again. We have played in a number of game 7 so far in this video, and we actually have a decent enough record in game 7, so hopefully that continues. So it's all coming down to game 7 in the conference finals. Who is going to be moving on to the Stanley Cup final? Well, I think it's going to be the San Jose Sharks. And why do I think that? Well, I'm managing San Jose, and I also want San Jose to win, so why would I question them? Why would I question the great San Jose Sharks team, especially with Ashcroft playing this well so far in the postseason? But maybe I spoke too soon. Cale Makar's picking up a power play goal. We have a 1-goal lead with about 10 minutes left in the third period. There's still lots of time for Colorado to pick up another. But as time winds down, I think San Jose could be walking away with the win. Colorado's going to have a late power play, but it's not going to be enough. With another Ashcroft masterclass under our belts, we're moving back to the Stanley Cup final, a place we have been a handful of times so far in this video, and a place we have seen a lot of success. So here we go. Our final round, the final 7-game series that we have to get through, the San Jose Sharks taking on the Buffalo Sabres. We are looking to win back-to-back Stanley Cups, and things are looking pretty good right now. We have a 2-1 series lead. Can we make that a 3-1 series lead? Yes, we can. Game number 5 could end it all for the San Jose Sharks. We can bring home back-to-back Stanley Cups with a win right here, so I think we should just go ahead and win this game. Let's just go dominate the Buffalo Sabres and win a Stanley Cup. I want to jump into some of these games. Let me dominate a little bit. Like seriously, 9 goals. You guys had to score 9 goals on 52 shots. Y'all have barely seen any gameplay in this video because the simulation gods are just allowing us to see a stupid amount of success right now. 16-7 in the postseason. No, what's going on? But at the end of the day, am I really going to complain about the simulation gods allowing us to win Stanley Cups like this? Absolutely not. Cole Caulfield's going to lead the way for us. 12 goals, 14 assists, 26 points. Macklin Celebrini was amazing as well. 12 goals, 13 assists, 25 points. But with Cole Caulfield having one more point than him, I am fully expecting him to be taking home the Conn Smythe this season. When it comes to goaltending numbers, Ashcroft did his thing once again, but the real question is, Macklin Celebrini, are you taking home any hardware that you haven't taken home before? It doesn't look like you're winning the Art Ross. It doesn't look like you're winning the Hart Trophy. Of course, you're not going to win the Norris. You're not winning the Maurice Rock-Richard. You're not winning the Ted Lindsay. So I guess you're not taking home any hardware this season. No, that's a little bit disrespectful. Shout out to Brandon Carlo for picking up an award. Definitely deserved it. Ashcroft, you're going to win the William Jennings and the Vezina. No surprises there. But when it comes to our Conn Smythe winner, that actually will be a slight surprise, because who's going to be taking that home? Macklin Celebrini. Nah, bro was really like that. Also, I just want to point this out because I didn't point it out in the past. Guess who won the Conn Smythe in the year Chicago won a Stanley Cup? It wasn't Connor Bedard. Instead, Andre Burakovsky. Now that really shouldn't surprise us. Also, Macklin Celebrini is going to be taking home the Lady Bang. But at the end of the day in the simulation, does that award really count? I don't think so. But Macklin Celebrini, your third Conn Smythe trophy, and you're only, what, 24 years old right now? This man is 24 years old, already has 3 Stanley Cups to his name and 3 Conn Smythe trophies. Now, at this rate, he actually might take home like 15 Stanley Cups. So the off season has begun, and that means it's time for me to make my 3 moves. So what am I thinking? Siegenthaler and Michael Misa sent over to Chicago. Akers is going to be brought to the team. He's getting paid $7.8 million for the next 4 years. He's an 88 overall right now. The main reason we're making this deal is Siegenthaler has completely fallen off. He's dropped to an 83 overall, and he's just not worth that contract moving forward. We're also looking to move on from Michael Misa here. He's going to need a contract extension pretty soon, and I don't think there's any way we're going to be able to afford him, especially when he's our 3C. Like, at the end of the day, Celebrini is the 1C, Will Smith's the 2C. You're going to be looking for like $8 million, and I don't want to pay you that to play on the bottom 6. So I'm looking to move on from you as well. Hopefully Chicago's going to be agreeing to this deal, but it looks like they're saying no. We do have a couple of draft picks we can work with, but we have traded a handful of our draft picks over these past couple seasons, so we really don't have too many to work with. I'll throw in 2 third rounders. They're saying no. I'll throw in a 4th rounder as well. Hopefully that's going to be enough to make the difference in this deal. They're saying we're a little bit low. Okay, we could trade a prospect. Peacock could be given up in this deal. I don't really know how I feel about giving up a guy like Peacock though, because I do think he could develop into something for us, but maybe we have to do this deal. I mean, I guess I could just trade away Bystud as well. He would probably be enough to make the difference, but he's a good bottom 6 player at only $2.2 million. So Peacock, I guess we're giving you up in this deal. This is low-key going to hurt us, but hey, we have to get this deal done. So we might be losing a couple valuable pieces, but we're bringing in a really valuable defenseman, so I think it's going to work out for us in the long run. Now, this deal is going to be a little bit questionable, but you know what? We're going to make it work. It doesn't make sense to run 2 snipers on our second line. Like, moving forward, our second line is going to be Isaac Howard, Will Smith, and Dawson Mercer. I feel like that's a little bit risky. But you know what? I'm willing to get risky in a deal like this. Isaac Howard is definitely an upgrade from Kurashev. He's cheaper than Kurashev, and I think he's just a better player than Kurashev, so I feel like he makes sense in our top 6. I'll throw in a 6th round pick as well. They're saying no. I guess I'll have to throw in a 5th rounder. At the end of the day, with these 2 picks right here, we definitely wouldn't get a player of Isaac Howard's caliber, so I'm definitely fine with giving them up in this deal. So Isaac Howard, welcome to the team. You're going to be a great top 6 piece for us. Now, after making all those trades, I guess it wouldn't hurt if we did a little bit of drafting. We have the 96th overall pick to work with, and where are we going to walk away with? How about we just walk away with a low top 6 potential player? Or do we take the risk with the medium league potential player? No, we take risks around here. I'm really hoping we can walk away with somebody who has medium league potential, and that's exactly why you take risks. He's not the 70 overall that was drafted before him, but hey, he has medium league potential. That's a decent prospect to add to our pool. Now, if we really want to get lucky, maybe we can walk away with multiple medium league potential players. Medium 70. I knew our luck wasn't that good. Now, honestly, after the 2 moves I made at the draft, I don't think there's really anything for me to do here. So we're actually not going to make a 3rd move. We're just going to stick with what we have here. The CPU can go ahead and sign a couple players in free agency. But honestly, I think we put ourselves in an amazing position to 3-peat. Now, I don't know if I've ever seen Celebrini peak like this, but he is up to a 97 overall. I don't know if I've ever seen Macklin Celebrini become a 97 overall, but he has in today's video. And he is surrounded with a ton of amazing players. The San Jose Sharks are the reigning 2-time Stanley Cup champion. They're looking to make that 3 straight Stanley Cups, 4 Stanley Cups over the past 5 years. This is the beginning of the Sharks dynasty, and as long as nothing stupid happens, we should be taking home another one this season. Now, unfortunately, the San Jose Sharks aren't quite as dominant as they were last season. We're only first in the entire league with a 44-14-6 record at the trade deadline, but realistically, did we think what we did last season was going to be sustainable? Like, that was definitely a bit of a fluke. Not a full fluke, though, because our team is incredible, but the rate in which we were winning games last season didn't make any sense. Like, that was a bit unsustainable. Celebrini, 46 goals and 40 helpers for 86 points. Will Smith, 82. Cole Caulfield, 76. The offensive numbers are looking really good from our team. We still have about 18 games left in the season, so how about we win another 10 games or so? We can finish with about 55 wins this season. I'd be perfectly fine with that. So of course, we'll go ahead and simulate the rest of the season, and then we'll go get our third Stanley Cup in a row. Now to finish out the season, I was looking for the San Jose Sharks to win around 55 games. So what'd they do? They won 55 games. A 55-19-8 record. The offense is looking really strong. The defense, I believe, is the best in the entire league, and I will definitely take the best defense in the entire league. The boys are rolling. Macklin Celebrini, I believe this is a career high for you, 109 points. Will Smith, 108. Cole Caulfield, 100. These might be career highs across the board, and I'm definitely perfectly fine with that. Meanwhile, when it comes to goaltending, Askarov, these aren't quite career highs from you, but I'm not going to complain about 44 wins, 5 shutouts, a 919 to 246. Like, these numbers are still incredible. So we all know what's on the line here. We're looking for the three-peat. We're taking on the Avs in the first round. Let's just take this one game at a time, and we'll bring home another Stanley Cup. Like, the last thing we want to be doing here is getting ahead of ourselves. Even though we're the best team in the entire league, I believe the Avs still have Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar, and just because of those two guys, they could steal a series or two. But I'm not sure if they're going to steal a series from us. We have a 3-0 series lead. We're looking to close it out in 4 games, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. It's a sweep over the Avs. So we're off to an amazing start in the postseason. The Anaheim Ducks are going to be the next team up. I'm not sure if the Anaheim Ducks can compete with us. I'm willing to simulate 4 games because that is how confident I am. I'm immediately stopping the simulation. We have lost 2 games in a row. I don't want to fall to a 3-0 deficit. So if I have to jump into game number 3, I'm jumping into game number 3. A 3-0 deficit's almost as bad as a 3-1 deficit. And yeah, I'm jumping into this game. We're down 3-0. It's time for me to take over. This is the first big comeback I have to make in today's video. Macklin Celebrini is still an assistant captain. I think we have to accept the fact that bro is going to be an assistant captain for the entire video because I am never going to remember to make him our captain. Like, making Macklin Celebrini our captain is just not high on the priority list, but I gotta lock in here. Dog, there is no way. Askarov. What do you mean that's going in the back of the net? Okay, we have to make a 4-goal comeback because what do you mean that is going in the back of the net? I understand there was a screen, but even still, dog, what are you talking about? How is that going in the back of the net? I need a better angle. How come every time I jump into a game, Askarov just allows like the easiest goal imaginable? Like, Leo Carlson's gonna do this stupid deke right here. Buddy, you're not deking anyone out. I believe this is Zane Prek right here. Is it Zane Prek? Because he is our captain, and it looks like it is. Zane Prek is the captain of the San Jose Sharks. Not sure how I feel about that. You really haven't been with the franchise that long. But that is neither here nor there. He is very close to this poke check. Honestly, I thought I was close enough to poke it away, but I guess not. So Leo Carlson is going to throw this shot towards the net. Askarov, what are you doing, my guy? Like, look how big of a gap this is. What are you doing? Nah, bro is selling. Nah, like, this game could potentially be over. We're facing a 4-goal deficit. What are we talking about, Askarov? Like, you gotta help me once in a while. You gotta make a save. So Isaac Howard might have a step, but he's going to be lit up. Hold on. No, he isn't. Isaac Howard with a beautiful spin move. Hold on. Is Isaac Howard absolutely cooking? Well, he was up until he missed the net by about 3 feet. He was cooking for a moment there, but then he just completely let everyone down. Okay, I'm convinced Lucas Dostal is the greatest goaltender of all time. Like, bro does not allow any goals, apparently. Cole Caulfield has a little bit of space, but he can't find a shooting lane. Until now, there we go. Cole Caulfield found a shooting lane. Lucas Dostal was absolutely exhausted, but this still isn't good enough. We're running our first line once again. I don't care if these guys are exhausted. We need them on the ice. Now, although we put up a pretty good fight here, it just wasn't quite enough. The Ducks scored an early goal in the third period, and honestly, I think that gave them enough momentum. But Askarov, how did you allow that goal? Like, my guy, that just ruined all of our momentum. We couldn't recover after that. We threw a ton of shots on Lucas Dostal, but he was just making save after save. Even when bro was exhausted, he still found ways to make saves. No, we're just not going to be able to recover now. We're down 3-0 in the series. That's a tough way to go out. So I've let down all the San Jose Sharks fans out there. I'm sorry, but I just couldn't make the comeback. But I will say, Askarov destroyed all momentum that we could have had. Like, he just allowed the weakest goal imaginable, and that was the end for us. The San Jose Sharks are going to be falling, but maybe not quite yet, because Isaac Howard is picking up an OT winner. We were down big in that game, but we somehow made the comeback, and we're moving on to game number 5. So maybe this series isn't quite done yet. Maybe our dream of a three-peat is still alive, but we do need to make a 3-1 series comeback. We've already won game number 4, so now we just have to win 3 more games in a row. It is possible, however, it's very unlikely, but we need to win another overtime game, and that's exactly what we're doing. Hold on now. We might not be done. I was assuming that my game 3 loss was going to be the end for the San Jose Sharks, but maybe my loss sparked some new momentum. Maybe we are going to make a huge comeback here, win 4 games in a row, and move on to the conference finals. It's still possible, but we need to win the 3rd period. We are 1 game away from moving on. We were basically eliminated in game number 3. They said there was a 90% chance of us being eliminated. It probably should be a 99% chance. But here we are in game 7. We have made a 3-0 series comeback. I was counting this team out when we lost game number 3, but now we're toast. Allowing 3 goals in the 1st period. You're telling me you made a 3-0 series comeback only to fold in game 7? But it's not necessarily that we folded. Lucas Dostal basically just stopped every puck that went his way. He made 40 saves. We ran to a hot goaltender. Our goalie wasn't hot enough. It is what it is. Now, it was certainly a disappointing exit against the Ducks. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. And what do I mean by that? After next season, I gain full control of the San Jose Sharks. I can bring in all the players that I want to bring in. I can make as many trades, as many signings as I want. I will be taking complete control of the San Jose Sharks team. And once I do that, well, we're going to make our dynasty even greater. When it comes to goaltending numbers, honestly, I'm shocked Askarov's numbers look this good, because based on how we performed in that one game I jumped into against the Ducks, I was assuming this man couldn't have had great numbers. Like, what do you mean you posted a 923 save percentage, but you can't stop a weak wrist shot from the blue line? How does that make any sense? Now, I feel like this is a risky trade, and it might not work out for us in the long run. But Podkolzin, I feel like you'll have a better fit in our top 6 than Dawson Mercer, because at the end of the day, I don't think running 2 snipers alongside each other is really the right move. So what we're going to do moving forward, Willis Smith, Isaac Howard, and Podkolzin on our second line. I think that's a decent enough second line. Podkolzin right now has some decent value. Although his cap hit is a little bit more than Dawson Mercer, it's only going to be for next season, so I think we can make that work. I'll throw in a 7th round pick and we'll get this one done. Now, I'm happy to say we're actually getting ourselves a notable draft pick here. Steven Sagan's going to be brought to the team, a 59 overall medium elite potential goaltender. He was also a gem, so he's a name that we're going to have to remember. But he's not going to be the only name we have to remember. Wesley is another guy we're going to have to remember. Griffin Wesley, a medium elite potential goaltender who is also a gem. So it looks like these 2 guys are going to be battling out over the next couple years to figure out who's going to be our backup goaltender, because Askarov is sticking as our number 1. So we have $7.7 million in cap space, and I think when it comes to our 2 remaining moves here, we're just going to bring in some cheap players for the bottom 6. Now, who exactly are these players going to be? I have no clue, but it looks like we're throwing a contract at Jalen Chatfield, so that's going to be $3.7 million right there. I don't really know if that's the move. Like, do we really need to be giving him a multi-year deal? I have no clue, but I guess we're doing that. So who is willing to accept for like $1 million? That's the type of player we're looking for right now. We need somebody who's willing to accept for $1 million. And Soderblom, it looks like you're going to be that guy. $1.7 million for the next 2 years. Welcome to the team. You're going to be a 4th line centerman. Now, when it comes to the next free agent sign we're going to make, who exactly are we going to be bringing in? Tanner Jeannot, absolutely not. Michael Bunting, absolutely not. I need a good left or right winger to bring in. Nordmark? Hold on now. I could bring Nordmark in. What if we did multiple seasons? If we did 2 years, he wants 1.2 million. If we did 3 years, he wants 1.2 million. 4 years, he wants 1.2 million. 5 years, he wants 1.2 million. Hold on now. Are we going to do something really stupid here? Here is 7 years at 1.8 million. welcome to the team. You're an 80 overall, you're only 24 years old. That's going to be a very cheap player for our bottom six. I love that deal. So over the offseason, we really didn't do too much. So we're just keeping all the key pieces together. We ended up winning the President's Trophy last season. So why should I really be worried about this team? We know for a fact the San Jose Sharks are going to be competing. Askarov, just don't allow any stupid goals during the postseason, and we should be able to get back to winning Stanley Cups. But outside of winning Stanley Cups, Macklin Celebrini, I actually didn't check to see if he won any awards last season. Now let's see if that's going to be the case. It looks like he did take home the Maurice Rock-Richard, so shout out to bro. But we got to get this man an Art Ross trophy. We got to give him a Hart. We got to give him a Ted Lindsay. We have to give him those awards as well. But at 26 years old, 3 Stanley Cups and 3 Conn Smythes, I would say he's had a pretty successful career so far, but it's only going to get better. Also, I feel like there isn't really any point stopping at the trade deadline. We're not going to make any trades with this team. We're just going to stick with what we have, and what we have is really good, so we should be able to hold our own. Now, Celebrini, I think you might have done it this season. We were first in the entire league with a 56-22-4 record, but Celebrini put up a career high 112 points. Please tell me this is enough for him to win the Art Ross trophy. We'll go ahead and take a look, and it looks like it was. Macklin Celebrini's taking home the Art Ross. He 1000% isn't winning the Rock-Richard though. That's going to Austin Matthews, but who cares? Macklin Celebrini is our Art Ross winner. More than likely, he's going to be taking home the Hart as well. Probably even the Ted Lindsay. The only thing that he is not guaranteed to take home this season is a Stanley Cup. But how about we just go win one? We're going to win a Stanley Cup this season. It's going to be one of the greatest seasons in NHL history from Macklin Celebrini. He's about to dominate, and he's going to put the league on notice once again. I will say, though, things are certainly not going to be easy for us. We have to take on the St. Louis Blues in the first round, and we all know what this franchise is about. They win games, and they take names, except when there's about 1.6 seconds left, or 1.3 seconds. I have put in a lot of effort to forget how much time was left on the clock in game number 7. But you know what? We can't focus on that. What we can focus on is the fact that we are low-key struggling against the St. Louis Blues. We are the President's Trophy winners. We should not be struggling against this Blues team. Luckily, we're going to win game number 5, and then we're going to close out here in game number 6. Give me one more win, or don't give me a win here. We're moving on to game number 7. Game 7 in the first round. We are the President's Trophy winners, but the St. Louis Blues decided, nah, we're like that. We are going to put some pressure on the San Jose Sharks. We have a 3-0 lead. I'm pretty confident I can simulate the rest of this one, and it looks like I can. We're taking this one 3-0, and we're moving on. Now, depending on who wins between the Ducks and the Edmonton Oilers, we could be getting our revenge in the second round, and it looks like that will be the case. The Anaheim Ducks are up next. You already know what type of timing we are on. We will take down the Anaheim Ducks. We're not going to allow them to beat the San Jose Sharks once again. We are on a different type of timing right now. We've won back-to-back games. We're going to make that 3 in a row, and then we are going to make that 4 in a row. Anaheim, who? Yeah, they can't compete with us, except maybe they can. They're winning game number 5. Ducks, who? We're winning game number 6. They are frauds. They can't compete with the likes of the San Jose Sharks. We're moving on to the conference finals. We've won 2 in a row. Make that 3 in a row. We are 1 game away from the Stanley Cup final, but we're dropping game 4. That's perfectly fine, though, because we'll just respond in game 5, but I guess we're not doing that. But you know what? We don't have to worry, because we're just going to win game number 6. What are we doing? We were up 3-0, by the way. Moving into game 7, this is a must win. San Jose, don't do this to me. Do not collapse when the lights are the brightest. We have a tie game right now. I am terrified. Like, very, very scared right now. Like, there is no way the Dallas Stars should have the lead right now. I might be jumping into this game sooner than later. Like, I might jump in at the 10-minute mark or something. It's a tie game. We have ourselves a power play. Dallas is getting a power play. I'm jumping in. 5 minutes left in this one. I just can't trust the CPU. And saying that, I probably shouldn't even trust myself. Macklin Celebrini is still an assistant captain. One of these days, I will remember. Probably not, but hopefully one of these days I remember. So we have 5:57 left in the third period. The San Jose Sharks are looking to move back to the Stanley Cup final. But in order to do that, we need to play some elite defense. Nothing weak here, boys. Everyone needs to be playing lockdown defense. That was a scary pass. No, what were we doing there? Let's get the first line out here. We're done playing around. So we have our top guys on the ice right now. It's an offensive zone draw for the Dallas Stars. I'm just looking to tie up Protus here. Do not allow him to win this. Askarov is making a huge save, and I'm getting risky. That was a terrible play, but hold on. I might be onto something. Here goes Cole Caulfield, sending it over to Celebrini. He has a chance. He's collecting it. Hold on now. We might have been onto something. That was a very, very, very stupid play, but it low-key cooked for a moment. Now, that was a huge hit right there from Will Smith. Maybe that's going to spark something. Will Smith is throwing the body like crazy right now. Hold on, he might be setting a statement here. He might be trying to get the boys rolling, but Thomas Harley in a lead opportunity, but we're going to shut the door. Cole Caulfield sending it up to Celebrini. Celebrini might have a step on the defense, a chance to end this game, and Celebrini's going to do so. Celebrini, a late breakaway in the third period. He's going to be able to find the back of the net, and just like that, with 14 seconds remaining, the San Jose Sharks have clinched the Stanley Cup final unless we completely choke here. As long as we don't completely sell in the next 14 seconds, we're moving on to the Stanley Cup final. Now, there is only one thing that we have to worry about over these next 14 seconds. I'm playing the 14 seconds. So that means I have to play elite defense for 14 seconds. I'm not really known for elite defense, but how about I just waste as much time as humanly possible? Let's just try to get this puck out. You know what? We're not even going to worry about that. We'll send it behind the net. Mook Madulin's collecting it, and just like that, we're moving on. The San Jose Sharks are moving on to the Stanley Cup final with the help of a late goal from Macklin Celebrini. Of course, it's Celebrini picking up the big goal. In big moments like that, you need to rely on your big-time players, and that's exactly what Celebrini is for us. He's picking up the game-winning goal, and we're moving on to the Cup final. All right, stick on the ice is an absolute clown. Ignore the fact that we are already 4 games into the Stanley Cup final. For some reason, I just completely forgot to unpause the recording, but luckily you didn't miss too much. We won this game in regulation. I didn't have to jump into it. It's a best of 3 moving forward. Game number 5 is going to be the most important game moving forward, and we're going to find a way to win that one in overtime. So we're moving on to game number 6. A chance at winning the Stanley Cup final. Who cares about every game before this? This is the only game that matters. It looks like we're going to have ourselves a scoreless first period. Moving into the second, this one's going to be all Washington. We have to prepare for Game 7. Game 7 is the only game that matters moving forward. That game was already a wash for us after we allowed 3 unanswered goals. This is the game that we have to focus on moving forward. Game number 7. Game 7 to decide it all. We've already picked up one huge Game 7 goal, but now it's time to pick up another. But that's if I have to jump into this one. How about we just win this game without me having to save the day with Macklin Celebrini? And I think we're going to do that. I think I can trust the San Jose Sharks to not allow 4 unanswered goals. So just like that, we are Stanley Cup champions. The Washington Capitals made a late comeback, but it's not enough. San Jose is coming out on top once again. We might have missed the first 4 games of the series because I'm an absolute clown, but that's perfectly fine because in our best of 3 series moving forward, we're going to be winning 2 games before the Washington Capitals could, so that can only mean one thing. The San Jose Sharks are Stanley Cup champions once again. Macklin Celebrini is looking to bring home another Conn Smythe, and I can only imagine he is, but we might have to give some respect to Will Smith because he stepped up big time in the postseason. He was a big time performer for us, so he might be taking home the Conn Smythe over Macklin Celebrini. Shout out to Askarov, 16 wins, 2 shouts, a 914 to 258. But the real question is, Celebrini, did you win the Hart Trophy? Did you win the Ted Lindsay? What other awards did you receive this season? Well, it looks like he's taking home the Art Ross. He's taking home the Hart Trophy. The Norris is going to be going to Adam Fox. The Lady Bing is going to be going to Will Smith. A bit of a surprise there, but not really. But when it comes to the Calder Trophy, Macklin Celebrini once again. He might not have led the team in points, but he was clearly our MVP for the playoffs. So that's another Conn Smythe Trophy for Macklin Celebrini. He is winning every big time award except for the Ted Lindsay. That's going to go to Mikko Rantanen, but he's winning the Art Ross, he's winning the Hart, he's winning the Conn Smythe, and the Stanley Cup as well. This might have been one of the greatest seasons of all time from a single player. So with that Stanley Cup won in season number 8, we're moving into season number 9, and that can only mean one thing. I have full control of the San Jose Sharks moving forward. I can make as many free agent signings as I want. I can make as many trades as I want. It's time for the real dynasty to begin. Now, after winning a Stanley Cup, it looks like we're going to win a little bit in the draft because with the 32nd overall pick, we're bringing in Janssen, a 63 overall sniper with low elite potential. He's only 17 years old right now, and he was a gem. I can only imagine this guy's going to be an amazing player for us in the future, as long as he develops, but I don't see why he wouldn't. Now, if I didn't think things were good enough for us, how about we draft a medium league potential left winger? Lane Ness, you are 1000% being traded because you're a grinder, but you have medium league potential, so that means you're going to have trade value, and we're going to capitalize on that trade value. I don't know if we're going to do that right now or not, but we might make a move sooner than you think. Now, when it comes to that medium league potential player we just drafted, he's probably not going to have the most trade value in the world. However, if I package him up with a medium league potential goaltender, now we're talking about something. Now, with us entering year number 9, I get full control. So that means I control the re-sign phase and who we bring back to the team. Like normally our CPU GM, they would probably give Jake Neighbors this deal, but I don't want to give Jake Neighbors that deal, especially considering he's playing bottom 6 minutes for us. It just wouldn't make sense. Liam Greentree, on the other hand, I can probably do 1.8 million for the next 2 years. I think that's relatively fair for you. Otto Stenberg, I can bring you back to play on the 4th line. I'll do 2 years at 1.2 million. I think that's pretty fair. Turnikov, I can bring you back to the team as well. What are you looking for? 1.9 million. What if I did $2 million for the next 2 seasons? If you're not willing to accept that, more than likely you're going to be leaving. But yeah, these are some decent deals that I can work with here, and it looks like everyone's accepting, and I think those are probably going to be the only deals we hand out, because when it comes to everyone else, I'm not really interested in these guys. Okay, so I didn't realize Ashcroft needed a contract extension. Please tell me we have enough money for him. Luckily, he's willing to sign a cheaper deal, so we can lock him down for $10 million for the next 3. But what do you mean my CPU GM didn't offer him a contract extension? Ashcroft is just as valuable as Macklin Celebrini. What do you mean I had to wait until the re-sign phase to give him a deal? Nah, what was bro cooking up? Luckily, Ashcroft is coming back to the team. But yeah, if we lost him, we could have been in a lot of trouble. So moving into the offseason, there's 2 very important players we have to bring back to the team. Macklin Celebrini is one of them, and he is going to take all of the cap space. All of our remaining extension dollars are going to Macklin Celebrini because he is looking for the biggest bag imaginable, but he's kind of worth it. So here's 17.5 for the next 8 years. Akers, how much are you looking for when it comes to a contract extension? I think we can actually free up 8.5 million. So maybe you're going to be coming back as well. So how about we do a deal like this? Podkolzin and Shakir Moukmadulin both sent over to the Boston Bruins. We bring in Brunette. He's an 85 overall defensive defenseman. I actually wouldn't be against bringing him back to the team in the future. I'll just have to see how much money he's going to be looking for, because for all we know, he actually might be cheaper than Akers, and it actually might keep more sense to keep him around instead. Instead of giving up a 2nd round pick, I'll give up a 2035 1st round pick. I feel like we're pretty close in getting this deal done. I don't want to give up multiple 1st round picks. Hopefully this deal right here is going to be enough. It's a little bit low. We'll throw in a 7th rounder and get it done. So Brunette, welcome to the team. I'm immediately going to check and see what you're looking for when it comes to a contract extension, because if I can lock you down long term for like $6 million, that could be the move here. But how much are you looking for? 8.2 million. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that. So Akers, I'll sign you to a contract extension. We should have more than enough money to bring you back to the team now. And yeah, this is going to be a super easy deal to get done. We're looking at 7.8 million for the next 3 years. William Akers, welcome back. So after trading away Podkolzin, we do need to bring in somebody to replace him. And Afagenov, I think you can be that guy. So Bischel and Jacobson are going to be sent over. But do I actually hold on to Jacobson? He's up to a 70 overall. Maybe I should hold on to him and trade the 50 overall medium league potential player. Like maybe trading away Ness makes a little bit more sense here. So I'm going to offer this over to Seattle. They're saying no, but I think Jacobson does just make this deal a lot easier. So I'll throw in him instead. He's a 70 overall at 20 years old. So I really don't think he has the highest ceiling in the world. Afagenov, on the other hand, well, he's going to be playing some amazing top 6 minutes for us. And I think he's going to be a difference maker. We'll throw a 3rd round pick into this deal. They're still saying it's a little bit low, but a lucrative 7th round pick will make the difference. So we're bringing in an elite right winger for our top 6. Our defense is much improved as well. No, I think we're ready to go back to back. Actually, I take that back. There's a couple things we have to do before we go back to back. One of those things is bringing in a backup goaltender. So Dennis Hildeby, here's 1.2 million for the next 2 years. And then we have to bring in some right wingers and left wingers. I mean, we don't have to bring in many. We just need to bring in 1 right winger and 1 left winger. Ideally 2 guys on cheap contracts. And Patterson, I think you could be an amazing player. You're only 23 years old. You're an 81 overall. Here's 2.9 million for 1 season. And then when it comes to a right winger, who do we want to bring in for 1 season here? Beecher honestly wouldn't be too bad. Justin Brazeau would be decent enough. And you know what? How about we just keep this one really simple? Beecher, I'll bring you in for 1 season. Here's $3 million. So Macklin Celebrini at 27 years old, you're already having an incredible career. You're a 97 overall with exact franchise potential. You already have 4 Stanley Cups and 4 Calder's to your name, but you only have 1 Hart, 1 Art Ross, 1 Maurice Rock Richard trophy. You don't even have a Ted Lindsay. That has to change moving forward. So we're going to be focused on you stat padding this season during the regular season, but once the playoffs come around, just do your regular thing. I know for a fact you guys can step up during the postseason. You've done it time and time again, so how about you do it again here? Now another season is wrapped up, and it should be no surprise the San Jose Sharks are first in the entire league. Another President's Trophy for the boys. It's no surprise to anyone. Macklin Celebrini, 63 goals, 50 helpers for 113 points. This could be another Art Ross trophy for him, and it could also be another Maurice Rocket Richard with 63 goals, and it looks like it will be. Celebrini's taken home all the major awards this season. When it comes to Ashcroft's numbers, he's second in the entire league in wins, 46 wins, 2 shots, a 909 to 267. The only reason he's not first is because Coco ended up playing 7 more games than him. If Ashcroft played those 7 games, he definitely would have been right up there. Also, shout out to Coach Chekhov for playing in 78 games. They were running this man into the ground, but he stepped up when he needed to. So we're moving on to the postseason, looking to win another Stanley Cup. Get Stanley Cup number 5 for Celebrini. I believe this will be Stanley Cup number 5. Honestly, I've just completely lost track, but we're taking on the Dallas Stars, so let's make a statement. So we know exactly what it takes to win Stanley Cups, because we have already won a handful of Stanley Cups in today's video, so how about we just keep on winning? There is no need for us to worry. We will take down the Dallas Stars. More than likely, it's actually going to be a sweep over the Dallas Stars, so we'll play these 4 games, then we'll move on to the second round. Nothing to worry about here. So it was a clean sweep over the Dallas Stars, and we're now moving on to the second round to take on the Edmonton Oilers. We have faced the Edmonton Oilers a handful of times in today's video, and we have beat them a handful of times, but it looks like the Oilers want to put a little bit of pressure on us, so they're going to win game number 1, but we're just going to win 3 games after that, and then we're going to make it 4 games. We're going to move into the conference finals 8-1, but I guess it won't be that simple because Edmonton's forcing game number 6, but we'll close it out in game 6. We're moving on to the conference finals 8-2 so far in the postseason. We're off to a pretty good start. So we're moving into the conference finals, and the Minnesota Wild are going to be the next team up. I think we can take down Minnesota because we're the best team in the entire league. We are one of the greatest teams of all time, but maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. We have dropped back-to-back games, but luckily it's not going to be 3 in a row. Can we make this back-to-back wins to move on to the Stanley Cup final? Of course we can. So we have made it to the Stanley Cup final once again. The San Jose Sharks are looking to win another Stanley Cup, but we have been shut out in back-to-back games now. We can't afford to lose 3 in a row. If we fall to a 3-1 deficit, we're going to be in a pretty tough spot, but I'm not going to question our team too much. When the lights are the brightest, we usually find a way to step up, and that's what we're looking to do here in game number 4. And with this Macklin Celebrini goal, I think it's safe to say we're coming out on top. We've already scored 3 in this one. It's going to be a 3-0 shutout for the San Jose Sharks, so we're moving on to game number 5 in a tied series. So it's officially a best of 3 moving forward. Game number 5 is coming up next. I could jump into this game, but I'm just going to simulate it because I know for a fact we're going to be stepping up. So we're moving into game 6. If I have a chance to win this game in overtime, well, I'll just win it in overtime for the boys. But I have a feeling I'm likely not going to have to jump into this game because the San Jose Sharks are just going to completely dominate, and we're going to win the Stanley Cup in a 6-game series. We're coming out on top 5-1. Macklin Celebrini has taken home Stanley Cup number 5, and he's only like 27 years old. With a performance like this, Celebrini, of course, is going to be taking home another Conn Smythe. Ashcroft, what the numbers look like, amazing once again. Like, I really never have to question our core pieces. Our core pieces have stepped up time and time again. The San Jose Sharks are Stanley Cup champions once again. Celebrini's winning the Art Ross. He's winning the Hart Trophy this time. He's winning the Maurice Rocket Richard. He's winning the Ted Lindsay. And then, of course, he's going to finish it off with the Conn Smythe Trophy, his 5th Conn Smythe of the video. I was talking about how last season was probably one of the greatest individual seasons of all time, while Celebrini just topped it this season. A Stanley Cup, a Conn Smythe, a Hart Trophy, an Art Ross, a Rocket Richard, and a Ted Lindsay. There's only 2 guys that can compete with seasons like this: Wayne Gretzky and Darnell Richmond. And we don't necessarily have the most picks to work with heading into this draft, but we are going to get one very interesting prospect, a lowly potential power forward who's beginning as a 69 overall. Kravchenko, I could really see you being a valuable bottom 6 piece for us in the future as long as you develop. But I'm happy to say if Kravchenko actually won't be the only lowly potential player we're going to be drafting, because we're going to select this player about 40 picks early, but that's perfectly fine. He's guaranteed to have lowly potential, and then with our 6th round pick, guess what we're going to be doing? Well, we're we're going to be going off the board once again, and we're going to be drafting ourselves another lowly potential player. So 3 lowly potential players in the draft. I'll take that any day of the week. As long as they develop, though. If they don't develop, then those are 3 wasted picks. Now we have $7.6 million in cap space. Brunette's looking for a contract extension, and we can actually keep him around. We have enough space to keep Charles Brunette on the team. If we do $7 million for the next 4, would you be willing to accept that? I think so. I wasn't originally planning on bringing Brunette back to the team, but at that price tag, I think we can get something done. When it comes to everyone else, though, they basically have to walk because we're not going to have enough cap space for them. Now, we're in a slight predicament right now because we really don't have enough cap space to be re-signing everyone here. Isaac Howard, you dropped to an 84. So you know what? That actually might work out for us. Alpha Ginnoff, how much are you looking for? $9 million. I can just bring you back to the team. This contract doesn't affect us till next season. And then Isaac Howard, you'll likely just leave the team. Okay, that works. Here's $8.2 million. Nothing we really have to worry about anymore. When it comes to this season, though, here's the one issue we're going to have. We have $1.6 million to work with. So what exactly does that mean? Unless you're willing to sign for like $1 million, you are not going to be joining this team. So Denver Barkley, I can afford to bring you in. Here's $1 million for the next 2 years. You can join the team. I'm actually very surprised we found an 81 overall willing to sign for that type of contract. But hey, I'll definitely take it. You know what? We're actually going to bring in multiple players who are willing to accept cheap deals like that. Pobezol, I'll bring you in for $1.2 million. That's another really cheap deal. We'll move on to bringing in a left winger here. And who's that going to be? McCarthy, I can bring you in for $1.2 million. I think that's an absolute steal. What if we did a 2-year contract? I think we'll do 2 years at $1.1 million. I think that's a relatively good deal. Actually, I take that back. $1 million for the next 2 seasons. You can play some bottom 6 minutes for me. And then when it comes to a right winger, Shabanov, I'll bring you in. You're willing to accept for $850K on a 2-way contract? Yeah, that's a no-brainer. So all we have to do here is sign 2 defensemen. Morin's going to be one of them. He's willing to sign for $875K. That's a done deal. And then we'll bring in 1 right defenseman. And here we go. We found our man. I'm actually very surprised all these guys are willing to accept cheap contracts like this. Like, I was expecting the 79 overall players to be looking for like $3 million. Granted, we haven't even hit year number 10 yet, so the contracts haven't quite got out of hand yet. Now, unfortunately, I have some bad news. Russell McCarthy is actually not going to be accepting our deal, but we're going to be able to walk away with everyone else, so I still think we're okay. Now, we've had 1 opportunity so far to complete a 3-peat. However, we weren't able to do it. This season, though, anything less than a 3-peat will not be tolerated. We're taking home a 3-peat this season. We are winning back-to-back Stanley Cups from Macklin Celebrini, and we are solidifying ourselves as the greatest dynasty of all time. The only other team to see success like this in such a short period of time was the Montreal Canadiens, but they played in a completely different league. There weren't quite as many teams as there are today. So San Jose, it's time to complete something that nobody thought would be possible. 6 Stanley Cups in a 10-year period in the modern NHL. Something that hasn't been done before and will probably never be seen again. Or at least it won't be seen again until we 4-peat next season and win 7 Stanley Cups over an 11-year period. Now, the San Jose Sharks are still rolling here. We're the best team in the entire league once again. I can't imagine there's going to be any time in which we're not the best team in the entire league. Unless Celebrini drops to like an 82 overall, then we probably won't be. But he's picking up 52 goals and 56 assists for 108 points. Cole Caulfield, 91 points. Will Smith, 87 points. The boys were flying once again. Nothing to be concerned about. Goaltending was spectacular. Arguably Ashcroft's best season. 48 wins, 7 shouts, a 930 and a 212. Is he going to go down as the greatest goaltender of all time? Like, when things are all said and done, are we going to say that Yaroslav Ashcroft is the greatest goalie of all time? Potentially, because he has all the accolades. He's going to have the wins. He's going to have the shutouts. He's going to have the save percentage and goals against. We are really entering an era where Ashcroft is going to go down as the greatest goaltender of all time. Man, that is crazy. But that is just what a Macklin Celebrini Be a Pro is about. We are looking to give players the greatest careers of all time. And so far, Macklin Celebrini has been getting the greatest career of all time. 5 Stanley Cups already. We're looking for Stanley Cup number 6 right here. And bro is still incredibly young. We haven't even completed the 2035 season, and he already has 5 Stanley Cups to his name. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, But this is also ridiculous. The fact that we are not dominating the Edmonton Oilers, we should be smoking these boys right now, but they are putting pressure on us. We are facing elimination heading into game number 6. What is going on with our team? We shouldn't be facing elimination like this. We should be smoking the Edmonton Oilers. But right now, they're holding their own with us. Savoy's picking up a goal in the second period. Currently, the Oilers are out shooting us, but I think we should be able to close this game out, and it looks like we will. We have a 3-1 lead entering the final 5 minutes. I'm going to simulate the rest of this one. We're taking down the Oilers 3-1, and we're moving on to game 7. So we've tied this series up, and we're moving into game 7. Game 7 to move on to the second round. Not the Stanley Cup final or anything. No, this game just sends us to the second round. It's actually kind of wild that the Oilers are putting a lot of pressure on us, but now it's time for the top players to take over. But just wait 1 minute. Connor Bedard is on the Edmonton Oilers? No, I gotta take it all back. This team actually has some stars here. I was wondering why the Edmonton Oilers were putting so much pressure on us, but now I understand. The Oilers are picking up a goal. We're trailing by 1 entering the final 10 minutes. I gotta jump into this one. Carson Raycroft picked up a huge goal in the third period. He's giving the Edmonton Oilers the lead. But you know what? That lead isn't safe. There is lots of time for San Jose to get back in this one. And I just noticed the Edmonton Oilers have a weak defense. No, we're gonna make them pay for that. Like, I think their defense was like a 76 rated or something. Nah, you're not going to win with a 76 rated defense. We're going to find a way to take you guys down. And what a huge hit right there. But now we got to play some good defense. Zane Preck's getting back into this play. We're going to be intercepting the puck, and now we're moving. Isaac Howard's got it. He's just looking for a little bit of space, and he's got that space driving towards the net. But it looks like it's going to be a big time save. I mean, it wasn't really a big time save because we turned the puck over. So we're down to the final 7 minutes, still trailing by 1 goal here. Somebody's going to need to step up for us. We need to turn to a superstar. And I know exactly who that superstar is going to be. It's Macklin Celebrini between the legs. That would have been a huge goal right there. So here we go. McGroarty has a breakaway and a chance to give us the lead. He's going to the backhand, but it's going to be stopped. A big shot right there, but that's going to be stopped as well. Nah, low key, they're just stopping everything right now. Zane Preck, a big shot from the point, but that one's going wide the net. We'll send it back to him. He's going to get another shot off here. The stick's going to break, but not his stick. Another big shot from Zane Preck. Everything is being stopped right now. We can't catch a break. Now, I have no clue who is in between the pipes for the Edmonton Oilers, but that man is making huge save after huge save right now. Like, we literally can't catch a break until right now. Here goes McGroarty flying down. Can we send it across? No, we just don't. We're not winning this game. We are not winning this game if their goalie is making saves like that. We had the perfect opportunity to take the lead in this game, but no matter what happens, we just can't catch a break right now. Cole Caulfield's putting on some pressure. We're sending it out in front, and Will Smith is going to bury this one to the back net. A terrible turnover from the Edmonton Oilers, and we're finally finding the back of the net. With 38 seconds left in the game, we're off to overtime. We were playing risky there, but we're going to intercept a puck. We're going to dish it out in front to Will Smith, and he's going to bury this one. It also looks like Joel Holfer is in between the pipes. I didn't even realize who the goaltender was, but Joel Holfer, you're not going to stop that shot right there. Will Smith is burying this one into the back of the net, and we're off to overtime. Unless we decide to end this one in the next 38 seconds, because that is possible. Now, you know what? I don't think we're done. I don't want to go to overtime. Let's just end this game right here. I thought Isaac Howard was going to have a breakaway, but you know what? Afoginoff might, and he's going to find the back of the net. Back-to-back goals in like 10 seconds. The San Jose Sharks fans have not left their feet. We have picked up 2 big-time goals, and now we have the lead in the final 30-ish seconds. Nah, this game's all over. So the time is winding down in this one. Edmonton might be able to get one last shot off. We're going to allow them to shoot this puck, except Dickinson's going to say no. They're going to try to pass it in front. He's going to swat that into the corner, and the San Jose Sharks are moving on to the second round. Because yes, we were struggling in the first round against a wildcard team. But who cares? We're still moving on. So the Sharks' reign could have came to an end, but Afoginoff and Will Smith are picking up 2 goals in a 6-second period. We're moving on to the second round, and I think we're going to build on that momentum. Can we get 3 straight wins? It doesn't look like it. We're moving into game number 4, looking to take a 3-1 series lead. With the way the Sharks are playing, I'm starting to get a little bit concerned because teams are starting to put pressure on us. We have now lost 3 games in a row. I don't want to have to jump into another game 7, but I'll do whatever it takes in order to help Macklin Celebrini win Stanley Cups. So if I have to jump into one of these games, I'm willing to jump into one of these games, but that game is not going to be game number 6 because we're going to take this one 5-2. So we're moving on to another game 7. I don't want to have to deal with the stress that we saw in our last game 7, so how about we just close it out right here? The last game 7 we had to jump into was incredibly stressful, and I can't deal with that stress again, so let's just dominate this one and win 7-0. I think that's an amazing plan. We already have a 2-goal lead entering the third, so I think we should be able to close it out. And with this Cole Caulfield goal, I think it's safe to say we're going to be walking away with the win. An Ashcroft masterclass, 41 saves. Nah, bro's really the greatest goalie of all time. So we won back-to-back games and we're moving on to the conference finals. We're taking on the Dallas Stars once again. We have seen the Dallas Stars a handful of times in this video, and you know what? We're going to see them again right here, and they're putting pressure on us this time. We're currently facing a 2-1 deficit. I don't want to fall to a 3-1 deficit, so I might have to jump into this game, but of course I don't, because we're going to score some goals here, and we are going to score a lot of goals, 6 to be exact, and we're evening this series up at 2. So it's a best of 3 moving forward. Our last 2 series have been decided by best of 3, and game number 5 is always the most important in a best of 3 series, and it looks like we're winning game 5. So can we close it out in game number 6? Of course not. We need another game 7. Our third game 7 of the postseason, but so far we're 2-0, and we will make it 3-0 right here. In the first period, it's going to be scoreless. Moving into the second, we're exchanging goals. Celebrini and Robertson are exchanging goals, so the third period is going to decide this one. Hopefully my boys are going to find a way to step up, but it appears that's not the case. Jason Robertson, a big goal. Dalibor Dvorsky's picking up another one a couple seconds later, so yeah, I got to jump into this game a little bit early. We're currently facing a 2-goal deficit, but we have lots of time to score 2 goals. Like the last time we had to jump into a game, we were able to score 2 goals in a matter of 6 seconds. However, that was against the Edmonton Oilers, and I think the Dallas Stars are a little bit better. Now, we're definitely giving ourselves some opportunities in the offensive zone, but we do need to find a way to win a face-off here, and Celebrini once again is not going to be winning the face-off. We'll send it back to Zane Parekh, though, so he can rip one towards net. Zane Parech's got a big shot, and I think we have to utilize that, but Celebrini's got some wheels, and he is putting some pressure on the Otter, but he's making some big saves here. We have the full pressure meter maxed out. We have to capitalize on that. A face-off win would be huge here. We might be able to max out the full pressure meter, but of course we're going to be tied up, so we're not going to be winning that one. Cole Caulfield's not going to be able to keep it in the zone. The Dallas Stars are moving out, and the full pressure meter is gone just like that. So Will Smith has the puck, and he has one defenseman to beat, but he's going to lose it. But that's perfectly fine. There's a loose puck, and we're going to be capitalizing, but unfortunately, it's being called back for goaltender interference. I shouldn't really be overly surprised. There was a lot of contact there. We basically ran the Otter over. Now, at the end of the day, this one's being called back. There's really not too much to review here. Zane Parekh ran the Otter over. Then again, he did have quite a bit of time to get back into position. But what are we talking about here? It's no goal. Now, we haven't really been able to sustain anything great in the offensive zone. We'll send it back to Dickinson. A big shot right there, but he's not going to be able to capitalize. It was a huge save from the Otter, but Dickinson's picking up right back up. He's got a little bit of space. He's going to try to go short side, and somehow he is finding enough space. Sam Dickinson, an elite shot right over the Otter's shoulder, and he has made this a 1-goal game. That's a big time play from Sam Dickinson. He had an earlier opportunity he wasn't able to capitalize on. He's intercepting a pass. He found enough space, and he's going to bury this one in the net. We've made this a 1-goal game. We're not down and out yet. So after that big time goal, I think we have to build on the momentum. So let's send Celebrini out there. We need the big time performers out there when we need them. We're dishing this up to Celebrini. He's got the puck in the offensive zone. He's looking to create some magic. McGroarty, a decent opportunity, but the Otter's going to make the save. He is exhausted right now, so that can only mean one thing: get shots on target. So we have the full pressure meter maxed out. Alpha Ginov's bringing the puck into the zone. He's going to try to send it back. I tried to drop it back to one of our defensemen, but we weren't able to do that, except Sam Dickinson's got it. He's shooting it 8 feet wide of the net. Nah, bro, low-key sold there. So we're down to the final 28 seconds. We don't have too much time in this one. Laba's got it, but it's going to be poked away. We're sending it up to Cole Caulfield. He has one defenseman to beat, but he's going to be knocked off the puck. McGroarty has to get back in order to play some defense. And you know what? He's actually going to shut down the play here. He's intercepting the puck, and we're going to do a huge outlet pass. Here goes Akers. 9 seconds left. Sending over to Cole Caulfield. A chance to tie this game up, and Cole Caulfield is going to do so. What a play from Akers, though. Finding Cole Caulfield. Cole Caulfield might have been absolutely exhausted, but he was able to sneak past one defenseman, go to the backhand, and tuck this one past Jake Ottinger. He barely had enough space to end this one, but he just had enough. The puck is going into the back of the net with 5.6 seconds left. What a play from Cole Caulfield. I can't believe he pulled that one off. Miracles do happen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have tied game 7 up with 5 seconds left on the clock. We still have overtime to settle this one, but the fact that we are in this position right now, it doesn't even make any sense. Now, unless we can somehow score a goal in the next 3 seconds here, but I don't think that's going to be happening. Jake Ottinger is going to make the save. 0.3 seconds left, but I can't believe that just happened. No, that's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. The Dallas Stars are going to be taking us down in overtime. I don't even know how that pass got across. I thought we had the lanes filled, but apparently not. The Dallas Stars are going to be taking us down. I can't believe we didn't have the lane closed off there. I thought we had bodies in the right position, but apparently not. Now, like, we got to watch the full play here. So Wyatt Johnston's bringing the puck into the offensive zone. We would prevent one pass, and then McGroarty lays a huge hit right there, but it wasn't enough to prevent the pass. Protas has this, and he's going to send it right across to Sergachev. They had an incredible opportunity right here, but Ashcroft did make a huge save. Now, when the puck goes into the corner, Macklin Celebrini, I need you to get your body on Sergachev. I need you to knock him down. I need you to prevent this pass from happening, but he just wasn't able to do that. He was able to knock him off the puck for a second, but it just wasn't enough. Sergachev's going to dish one out in front. Protas was left wide open, and he's going to get this one on target, and it's going to end up being the winner. But I'm not going to lie, Ashcroft, you got to make this stop. This was not a very difficult deflection. You were in the right spot, but you just made yourself incredibly small right here. Look how much of the net you're leaving wide open. But at the end of the day, we have to prevent that pass from happening. I'm sorry, Ashcroft. I'm sorry, Celebrini, but unfortunately, you're going to be falling in Game 7 of the conference finals, so the three-peat's not going to be happening this season. That doesn't mean it's not ever going to happen. It just won't be happening this season. We're going to have to put ourselves in a position next season to win again, and then the year after that, we're going to have to repeat. So that means 3 years from now, we'll have our opportunity at repeating again. But that's only if we're able to regroup after this devastating loss, and if we're able to replace the players that we're going to be losing, because a handful of key players are going to be leaving the team. I think the Dallas Stars are likely going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, but it appears that's not the case. The Carolina Hurricanes are taking down the Dallas Stars, so we didn't even lose to the eventual Cup champs. Nah, you just hate to see that. Macklin Celebrini, you put up a good fight, but it just wasn't quite enough. 13 goals, 9 assists for 22 points. Will Smith, 21 points. Cole Caulfield, 20 points. Ashcroft's numbers weren't good enough. Clearly, he wasn't prepared for the postseason. A 902 and a 326. This kind of explains why we had to play in 3 different Game 7s. Like, realistically, there's no reason why this San Jose Sharks team should be going to that many Game 7s. When it comes to our individual awards, it looks like Connor Bedard's going to be taking home the Art Ross. Macklin Celebrini will take home the Hart Trophy. But honestly, I don't care about these individual awards, because these individual awards do not lead to a Stanley Cup. Ashcroft, you were able to take home the Vezina and the William Jennings, but you know what you didn't take home? The Conn Smythe Trophy. That's going to be going to Lucas Raymond. Macklin Celebrini had an opportunity to win 3 straight Conn Smythe trophies, but that's not going to be happening today. Instead, he's going to be falling in Game 7 of the conference finals. So right now, I think we're all well aware that Isaac Howard is not going to be returning to the team. So here's what I'm thinking. I think we need to pull off a 3-team trade, but maybe we don't. Haltonen, I can just bring you in to replace Isaac Howard. $2.4 million for the next 3 years. You're going to have to play out of position because I'm going to play you on the left side. But does this make sense? Hold on now. I was originally going to pull off a 3-team trade in order to get the 4th overall pick from the Calgary Flames, but I think this deal actually makes a little bit more sense. Haltonen, you can return to the San Jose Sharks. You can play some top 6 minutes for us for $2.4 million. Yeah, we're just going to go 1-for-1 in a deal like this. That's actually going to work out a lot better than us trading for LeCavalier, because that deal would have been impossible to get done. Also, if we're going through the effort of trading a medium league potential player away, how about we just draft one to replace that player? So we're going to get ourselves a 49 overall who has medium league potential. He's only 17 years old, so maybe this guy can actually develop into an elite offensive defenseman. But now that we've acquired that offensive defenseman, maybe I package him up and send him over to the Calgary Flames, because we do have some other assets we can work with. Maybe one of those assets will be another medium league potential player, but that's not going to be the case. But you know what? I think we're actually going to hold off on trading for Lecavalier. I don't really know exactly where he would fit in the lineup because he would have to play top 6 minutes, and I don't think he's quite ready to play top 6 minutes, so we're going to hold off with that trade. Maybe in the future we'll make a move, but for now we're just going to stick with what we have. Also, this player might not have had medium league potential, but medium top 4D, that's not too bad. Okay, hold on now. We just got ourselves another medium league potential player. He's 20 years old right now, so he doesn't have a ton of room for growth, but I think we're actually going to pull off a big deal now. Originally, I wasn't going to do anything, but now that we have both of these medium league potential players, we might have something. Now, after going through basically every team, I think I figured out what trade I want to do. So the 2 medium league potential players that we just drafted are going to be sent over to the Islanders. He just picked up 31 goals in his rookie season, and he's not even a sniper. Bro is a two-way forward and just picked up 31 goals. So that can only mean one thing. His shoot pass bias is incredible. So we're going to bring him to the team. I think we can even get a future second round pick. I think this is a great deal for the Islanders. They're going to be rejecting it. What if I don't even ask for any draft picks? Can we just go 2 for 1 here? They want a 7th round pick as well, but I'm perfectly fine with giving that up. How about I actually just give you the 190th overall instead? I think that's an even better deal for you guys. So we get to bring in a great young player. He fits exactly what we're building right here. And honestly, I think there's a chance that he immediately jumps onto the first line. I think he's going to play alongside Celebrini and Cole Caulfield. McGroarty, I'm moving you down to the second line, but it's for the betterment of the team. So heading into this season, we have ourselves $2.4 million to work with. So what are we going to do with that $2.4 million? Well, probably a whole lot of nothing. Maybe we'll sign some rookies, and that's probably about it. Because yeah, what else can we really afford to do? Like Isaac Howard, there's no way we can bring you back to the team, especially since you want 6.8 million. Liam Greentree, how much are you looking for? 2.8 million. Like all of these guys are gonna have to walk, and we'll have to find different replacements. Stenberg, are you willing to stick around? I mean, for 1.1 million, Otto Stenberg can continue to play for our team. I think that's actually not that bad of a deal. Now we have some contract extensions to hand out, mainly to Dickinson and McGroarty. Dickinson has been a key player for us. He has picked up some big time goals, and you know what? I think we can bring him back at this price tag. Like I was thinking bro was gonna be looking for like 12 million or something. No, we're locking him down for 7.7 million for the next 3 years. When it comes to McGroarty, he wants $10 million. I can actually do that. That is not an insane ask. So McGroarty, you're coming back to the team, $9 million for the next 4 years. Welcome back. And then with everyone else, honestly, I don't think we have to worry about these guys. I guess Ashcroft does need an extension. And how much does he want? He wants 16.4. This could be the end. Ashcroft, you might be playing your final games with the team. That might seem crazy, but yeah, I can't give you that much money. You're going to go down as the greatest goaltender in San Jose Sharks history and potentially the greatest goaltender of all time. However, I can't give you 16 M's, especially at 33 years old. So how about we get one last run in together? One last run with Ashcroft and the San Jose Sharks. We'll go ahead and sign a backup goaltender. Yes, I guess you can be that guy. Here's 1.6 million for the next 2, but it looks like it's going to be the last dance with Ashcroft. Although it's definitely a sad day, look at what we've been able to accomplish. Like, we've done some incredible things. So after that disappointment in the postseason, we had to lock in over the offseason. We made a couple moves in order to improve this team. I think this might be one of the best San Jose Sharks teams that we've seen in today's video, and we have seen a ton of great teams, but I don't think quite as good as this team right here. So you know what you have to do. 65 wins, a Stanley Cup, 16-0 in the postseason. Let's keep things realistic. And honestly, I think that is keeping things realistic for us. Like, we are just that dominant of a team. We're entering year number 11 with the San Jose Sharks. So far, we've been able to win 5 Stanley Cups, and I think over these next 10 years, we should be able to win another 10. 10 Stanley Cups for Macklin Celebrini. Let's get it done. Now, do my eyes deceive me? What exactly am I looking at here? San Jose second in the entire league. Nah, this is unacceptable. What do you mean we're second in the entire league? Macklin Celebrini was on a different type of timing. 63 goals, 57 assists, 120 points. No, we got to bring home a Stanley Cup here. I need everyone on this team to wake up. Ashcroft, figure it out, my guy. Because what do you mean we didn't win the President's Trophy? We're the San Jose Sharks. We always win the President's Trophy. We are significantly better than every other team. What do you mean we were second in the entire league? No, like, I'm actually having an internal crisis right now. Second in the entire league. If you're not first, you're last. And that is just facts in this scenario. What do you mean we're dropping game number 1? Why are we dropping game 2 as well? San Jose, are you guys washed? There is no way the San Jose Sharks are actually washed. What do you mean we've already dropped 2 games here? We can't afford to lose another game. This is a must win for us, and luckily we're going to be winning this game after I pick up the OT winner. I can't believe we're in this position. We are in a position right now where we actually might end up losing in the first round. I refuse to let that happen. Nope, Macklin Celebrini, you are going to score 3 seconds into overtime. The Edmonton Oilers defense is a 75 rating. There's no way we don't score here. Okay, so we got to slow things up here. The Oilers have actually been putting on more pressure than I was expecting. Morin's got the puck and he's got a little bit of space, and he's going to go top shelf on Joel Hofer. Who would have thought that Morin would be picking up the big goals in this game, but he's helping us avoid falling to a 3-0 deficit. But no, we're still trailing in this series. Let's not get things twisted. We are down 2-1 still. This game really doesn't change too much for us. It just helps us avoid the sweep. Nah, but shout out to Morin, just filling the lane perfectly. More than enough space, a nice little move there. He found the space, and he's going to bury this one past Joel Hofer. But the job's not done. We still have to make the comeback in this series. So we might be saving the day in game number 3, but that doesn't change the fact that we're still down 2-1 in this series. We need to win back-to-back games here, and luckily we're going to be doing that. So it looks like we have a bit of a winning streak going. We need to win game number 5 as well, and that's exactly what we're doing. Was that OT winner from Morin really the difference maker for us? It looks like it was. 4 straight victories from the San Jose Sharks, and now we get to take on the President's Trophy winners. I am jumping into one of these games. I don't know which game it's going to be, but I will jump into one game against the LA Kings, and that game will be game number 4. We are not getting swept. I refuse to get swept against the LA Kings. They were the lone team better than us during the regular season, but I'm not jumping into this game right here because we are going to win this game. We are scoring 8 goals. This was a statement. We are making a statement against the LA Kings. We are not scared of you guys. We can compete with the best teams in the league. I don't care who you are. We will compete with you. You might have been ahead of us during the regular season, but you don't have the experience that we have. We have been in this position time and time again, and we have come back from this position. We always find a way to step up when the lights are the brightest, and we will do so once again. So we're about halfway through the third period, and the LA Kings are going to be picking up a late goal. I think I'll jump into the final 8 minutes here. I want to give myself more than enough time to pick up 1 goal. But on top of picking up 1 goal, how about I just pick up 3 goals here? We can just avoid overtime. So we got ourselves about 7 minutes left in this game. Not a ton of time, but more than enough time for us to pick up a goal. Sam Dickinson's gone. He's just looking to find one of our forwards. He's going to send it up to Will Smith. Will Smith's going to try to get this puck deep, and you know what? He actually did do that. Cam York's got behind the net, but now Will Smith's intercepting it. We're looking to send it back to one of our defensemen. Dog, what was that shot? You shot that about 18 feet wide of the net. How does that even happen? Alfaginov can't capitalize. We'll send it back to the defense. Dickinson again. He's getting shots on target, but we just can't find the back of the net. So we're sending Celebrini out with 5 minutes left. I know we can win a big draw like this, but it looks like the man we're going against has the quick draw X factor, so we actually never stood a chance. So we're down to the final minute. We don't have a lot of time left, but we're known for scoring goals late in these games. Will Smith has it, and I think he has a step on the defense. He's driving towards net, trying to center it out, but Tham's going to be able to collect it. 56 seconds left. We got lots of time to work with. Pobezol is going to be taking the draw. I have no clue why he's out here right now, but I guess he is. Dickinson, I need you to pinch there. I need you to pinch and get that puck. Brunette, I need you to make a great defensive play, and that's exactly what he's doing. A huge hit right there. Now he's got the puck, and he's moving into the offensive zone. A nice little move. Maybe he can find the back net, but he's ringing it off the post. Brunette had a chance to end this one, but he's ringing it off the post. I guess it wasn't a chance to end this one, but a chance to send us to overtime. Nah, that was heartbreaking right there. He made an amazing move, found enough space. Hopefully he can somehow do that again. We're dropping it back. Pobezol is going to drop it back once again. Here goes Dickinson. I don't know if he has enough space, but he has found some. We're going to try to center it out. Pobezol is not going to be able to get to it. Stenberg's putting on some pressure. The LA Kings are going to be icing it. We got to get to that puck quick. Brunette's collecting it. 9 seconds left. We have a chance still. Let's get the best players out here. Our top line needs to be there, but Brunette had a chance to end this one. The fact that he rung it off the post, though, absolutely heartbreaking. So Celebrini, more than ever, I need you to win an offensive zone draw. 8 seconds left. You have to win this draw right here. Is he going to be able to? No, he is not. And just like that, the game is all over. We're going to be falling to the LA Kings. No, that was heartbreaking. A heartbreaking loss right there. We tried to make the comeback, but it just wasn't enough. We had the perfect opportunity to tie this game up, but Brunette's ringing it off the post. Now I want to go watch the replay. What happened on that chance? Like, look at this huge hit from Brunette. That was a big defensive play. Pobezal collects it, sends it up to Brunette, and it's time for him to go to work. He had the defense bite on that move right there, drove towards net, had the goaltender bite. He has a wide open net. The game is on his stick right here, and what ends up happening? He shot it wide. No, he did hit the post, but my guy, you have to bury this. You have more than enough space, but he's ringing it off the crossbar. I don't know why he was shooting it that wide anyway. Like, just tuck this into the net. You have more than enough space to score right here, but he's going to ring it off the crossbar. And for the second year in a row, the San Jose Sharks are going to be falling. I can't believe this is happening. Is our dynasty over? Have the San Jose Sharks already peaked? Potentially, because Ashcroft's not going to be back next season. This team just won't be the same. Now, this is just heartbreaking to see. We're falling in the second round to the LA Kings, and it's just the way that we went out. Like, we were dominated in that series. Macklin Celebrini, you might have had 17 points, but it wasn't enough. Meanwhile, Ashcroft, you just played your final games with the team. You're not that guy anymore. Ashcroft is not the guy that we can rely on. We're bringing in a new goaltender next season. It's the end of an era. Although I'm sad that he's leaving the team, I'm just happy that it happened. He was here for a dominant run. He won 5 Stanley Cups with us, but it's time for us to head a different direction. Macklin Celebrini is winning the Art Ross. The Hart's going to be going to Wideman. Honestly, I feel like he deserved it. He carried the LA Kings all the way to the President's Trophy. Bro was legit. Zane Parekh, the Norris, Macklin Celebrini, the Lady Bing. I don't care about the Conn Smythe, but it's one of our own. Isaac Howard is taking home the Conn Smythe. We should have kept him on the team. I wish I didn't see that. Also, shout out to Ryan Suter, who's the Jack Adams winner. Yeah, shout out to bro. Didn't realize he became a coach. Leo Carlson's going to be taking home the Selke, Wideman the Ted Lindsay, Macklin Celebrini the Maurice Rock Richard. But yeah, the fact that Isaac Howard is taking home the Conn Smythe, I'm absolutely sick. Now, I think we have to head into this offseason with the mindset that last season was a fluke. Last season is not going to happen again. We're going to get back to our winning ways, and we're going to start winning Stanley Cups once again. We're going to pretend that last season didn't happen. Also, with the 58th overall pick, we're going off the board here. Imagine if this guy actually has low franchise potential. It's going to end up being low elite potential, but imagine if it was low franchise. Like, we would have got ourselves an absolute steal. We're also going to take this player here in the 3rd round. Hopefully we get another low elite potential player, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Now, I don't think one medium elite potential goaltender is going to be enough, so how about we secure another one, a 58 overall here in the 5th round. More than likely, we're going to be trading one of these medium elite potential goaltenders away in order to get our new starting goaltender moving forward. Because yeah, Ashcroft, you just played your final games with the team. It's heartbreaking to say, but it is what it is. So moving into the offseason, we have $9.3 million to work with. Of course, we're going to sign these 2 rookies, but I think everyone else is going to be leaving the team. Morin, you picked up a huge goal for us, but now you want $7.5 million, and I'm not willing to do a fraction of that. When it comes to Ashcroft's contract, what's his ask here? Okay, hold on. Ashcroft is coming back to the team. I didn't think he'd be coming back because I thought he wanted too much money, but it looks like he wants to stay loyal to the soil here. He wants to return to the San Jose Sharks for one more season. I'll upgrade that no trade to a no movement. $7 million for the next 2. Ashcroft, are you going to be returning? Yes, you are. Nah, it looks like the boys are sticking around for a little bit longer. Also, Wesley, I'm just going to let you walk. You're a 67 overall, 23 years old. You are not developing in time. So moving into the offseason, there's a couple players here looking for extensions, and there are a couple of our key players. Zane Parekh wants $18 million. If we bring him back to the team, we basically have to say bye to everyone else. Blake Valesi, I would love to bring you back to the team. 11.8 million honestly probably isn't too bad. Like, you're playing really good top 6 minutes for us. I'd be willing to give you no movement in that final season. Hopefully we can save a ton of money here, and it looks like we will be. So I think you're going to be sticking around with us. So Valesi, here's 9.6 million for the next 5 years. You're going to be sticking around, and you're going to play some big minutes for me. Will Akers, how much are you going to be looking for? You probably want a bag, and I don't know if I can do 14.9 million. That is quite a lot of money. You're an elite defensive defenseman, but I just don't know if I can commit that to you. And then Zane Parekh, we'll figure something out later. We may have to wait until the salary cap goes up, because I don't know if we're going to have enough money for all these guys. Like, at the end of the day, I don't want to be trading these guys away, especially if the trade's not going to make us better for this season, because at the end of the day, we are looking to win a Stanley Cup this season. We can't be trading away really good assets. So moving into free agency, we need to bring in one right defenseman, and then a left winger, a right winger, and a centerman. So how about we just try to sign the cheapest player possible here, 79 overall, willing to sign for 900k. Yeah, I think that's going to turn out to be a really good deal for us. Now when it comes to the rest of our signings, who are we looking at here? Low-key, Ben Kindle is very interesting, but I think Ben Kindle's looking for a little bit too much, so I think we're going to pass up on him. Connor Zary, I don't think I can do that deal. Who is willing to sign for a very, very cheap contract? I mean, we could bring back Pobezal, and honestly, I would not be against that. Let's bring him back, but on a very cheap deal. How about 1.5 million for the next 2 years? Yeah, I think that works for me. So we brought in our centerman. Now we need a left winger and a right winger. Now, who are those players going to be? We have $2.6 million remaining. I guess we can bring in Bang for 1 season, but I'm going to offer him 2 seasons in the hope that we can get this down, and it looks like we can. So Bang will do 1.5 million for 2 years, and then we'll finish it all off with Ulandov, 1.5 for the next 2 years. There we go. The team's ready to run it back and actually step up when it matters most this time. Now, San Jose, it has been far too long since you guys last won a Stanley Cup, so I'm going to need you to step it up big time here. We have +5 line chemistry on our first line and second line, so you know those 2 lines are going to be performing. When it comes to our defense, that looks amazing. And Will Akers, I actually think there is a very good chance that we just let you walk. And why is that? Well, we have DeMello, who's been developing as a great young defenseman. Brunette can move up to the top pairing. DeMello can move up to the second pairing. And there we go. We can replace you. We can give your money to Zane Parekh, and then problem solved. We basically bring back the exact same team. Askarov, I didn't think you'd be coming back for this season, but apparently you are. So how about we win 1 more Stanley Cup with you? Actually, how about we win 2 more Stanley Cups? You're under contract for 2 more years, so 2 more Stanley Cups seems very reasonable. Now, I think we have to have a conversation heading into this season. Now, what exactly is that conversation about? Is it about the San Jose Sharks? No. Is it about the fact that Will Smith outperformed Macklin Celebrini this season? No. Then what exactly is it about? Well, it's the fact that I've been calling Akers this entire video. I'm going to explain my reasoning for calling him Akers and not Actors. I want to say I did a video like a year and a half ago where I had a player like Akers on the team, and I'm pretty sure I pronounced his name Akers in that video. So when I saw this same name today, I called him Akers, and that is my entire reasoning. So even though his name is Akers, I have called him Akers, and for the rest of this video, I will continue to call him Akers, even though that is the wrong pronunciation, and I should be pronouncing it right. That is Akers in my eyes. Askarov, 58 wins, 9 shouts, a 914 and 253, but yeah, shout to Akers, spelt with a K, because bros like that, I guess. We're taking on the Winnipeg Jets in the first round, so we actually could be in some trouble. But yeah, that is basically my entire defense on pronouncing bro's name wrong the entire video so far. My whole defense is I think I had a player with a similar name to him a year ago, and I pronounced it Akers and not Akers, so therefore I will do that again today. That is terrible reasoning, but that is the reasoning I'm going with, because I'm actually pretty sure that is the reason I've been calling him Akers. Like, I do vividly remember having a player with that last name on my team in the past, and I do remember vividly calling him Akers the entire video, not Akers, but Akers. But you know what? We can't focus on that anymore. The only thing we can focus on is sweeping the LA Kings. Those boys are frauds. I don't care that it's not a sweep. As long as we don't blow a 3-0 series lead, we're moving on to the conference finals. No, they can't compete with us. LA who? Yeah, they got nothing on the San Jose Sharks. We're moving into the conference finals. We are absolutely dominating right now, or at least we were dominating until we dropped game number 1 of this series. But you know what? We're just going to dominate again after that. We have a 3-1 series lead. We're taking down Minnesota, 12-2 so far in the postseason, and now we have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup final, who cannot compete with us whatsoever. I don't even need to jump into any of these games. It was just pure domination from San Jose. Maybe the reason we dominated like this is the fact that I addressed the elephant in the room at the beginning of the season, and the fact that I've been calling Akers the entire video. But you know what? Addressing the elephant in the room clearly worked for us. Celebrini was a dominant force. He is winning Stanley Cup number 6, but on top of him getting Stanley Cup number 6, so is Ashcroft, who's posting 16 wins, 3 shutouts, a 930 and a 198. His best goals against so far. That is Stanley Cup number 6 for him. He has 4 Vezinas and 5 William Jennings as well. Yeah, we have to start having that conversation. Is Ashcroft the greatest goaltender in NHL history? He's top 5 in wins now. He has a ton of shutouts. His save percentage and goals against are amazing. He has 6 Stanley Cups now. He has 4 Vezinas and 5 William Jennings. No, we have to start having that conversation. Ashcroft might be him. It's actually not he might be him. He 1000% is him. Ashcroft is that man. Now, when it comes to award winners, the LA Kings, I guess, are winning every major award except for one. And which award is that? The Stanley Cup. And Celebrini, I guess you're going to be taking home another Conn Smythe trophy. No surprise there. Celebrini really having the greatest career of all time. So I already let you guys know at the beginning of the season that Akers, also known as Akers, will not be returning to the team. But you know who is returning to the team? Zane Parekh. So we're going to bring him back here. I'm going to throw a massive bag at him, but we're actually going to be saving a lot more money than I was expecting. We're also giving him a no movement. We're locking him down for the next 4 years. Can we do $13 million for the next 4 years? Yeah, I think that's an incredible deal. That's actually less than what he's getting paid right now. No, we're saving some big money here. Now, unfortunately, after winning a Stanley Cup in dominant fashion, we're not going to dominate during the draft. We're actually going to be missing out on all 7 of our draft picks. But honestly, I can live with that, especially with the way the team's playing. Okay, did somebody retire on us? I think we lost somebody. Did we lose Ashcroft? He might have retired on us. And is that the case? No, he didn't. Why do we have $17 million? Did we lose somebody? We had to have lost somebody. There is no reason we should have this much cap space right now. And you know what? We did lose somebody. Cole Caulfield has decided to retire on us after winning a Stanley Cup with the boys. He's going to be taking his talents to retirement. I can't believe he just did that. We lost Cole Caulfield. No, I don't know how we're going to replace bro. I guess that means we could bring Akers back to the team, but we need somebody for the top 6. We can't afford to bring him in. So yeah, we got to make sure that we have a little bit of cap space to work with. Haltonen, you're going to be leaving. Honestly, I think all of these guys are going to be leaving. We'll make some plays in free agency now that we have $17 million. But no, we got to go get ourselves a new first line sniper. Now, as of right now, Brunette and DeMello are both needing contract extensions. I don't really know what they're going to be looking for, but DeMello, I think this is actually a very reasonable deal. I think I'm going to be able to lock you down for like $7.5 million for the next 5 years. And I think that would turn out to be an absolute steal for us. We can actually save a bit more money than that. I'll do 7.3 for the next 5 years. Actually, that's a lie. 7.5 for the next 5. Let's keep it somewhat fair. So we're bringing him back to the team. Brunette, I'm not 100% sold with you right now, so I guess we'll see what happens. Like, I wouldn't mind bringing you back to the team, but as of right now, you're looking for $14 million, and I just don't want to give you $14 million for only 2 years, so I guess we're going to hold off. But now that we've given DeMello that extension, yeah, let's go sign a new sniper, because we need somebody to play in the top 6 alongside Macklin Celebrini. I'm not sure who that's going to be, but yeah, we got to find somebody. And I'm not going to lie, based on what's available here in free agency, I think we might be better off making a trade. Like, Teravain's the only guy that makes a little bit of sense, but I'm not paying bro $15 million. That's absurd. So yeah, let's go make a trade. I mean, I guess there is one other option. 15.9 for the next 7 years. We would have to give up 4 years of first round picks, but I wouldn't necessarily be against that. Let's go see how much cap space Tampa has, because they might not be able to match that deal. Okay, so Tampa Bay actually can't match that deal, so I don't know why we offered him that much money. Like, we didn't have to. But yeah, Boyce is going to be joining the team. He's playing on the top line alongside Macklin Celebrini and Afaginov. Valesi's going to be playing on the second line alongside Will Smith. But then we have McGroarty to deal with. And what exactly do we do with him? $9 million for the next 3. I don't want to trade Valesi. So McGroarty, would there be any team you'd be willing to be traded to? I'm really hoping there is a way we can ship you out. And it looks like there'd be 3 teams that you're willing to go to. Where are we going to be sending McGroarty? I'm not going to lie, bro is actually saving us here. So shout out to McGroarty. He's actually going to be a legend just because of a deal like this. Chicago, Montreal, Toronto. Let's go get a deal done. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. McGroarty's going to be sent over to Toronto. Blacker and Bear are both going to be joining the team. 2 guys that can play some bottom 6 minutes, but we get to free up $9 million in a deal like this. That's actually very crucial. So after freeing up that $9 million, we can bring in some guys for the bottom 6, but we can also build the third pairing defense, because if we didn't trade McGroarty away, we actually wouldn't have been able to build a third pairing defense. We wouldn't have had enough money for these guys. So yeah, we'll bring this 79 overall to the team that has exact top 60 potential. And then we'll find one other right defenseman that can join the team for really cheap. And we just found that guy, 1.4 for the next 2 years, an absolute steal. So we know for a fact that Tampa Bay is not going to be able to bring Boyce to the team. So that means he's going to be joining the San Jose Sharks. And he is going to be teaming up with Macklin Celebrini. No, there is no way that we don't end up winning a Stanley Cup again this season. Tampa doesn't have enough cap space to match. So we're bringing another franchise star to the team. No, we're ready to go back to back here. Now, how much cap space do we have remaining here? 6.1 million. That should give us enough money to make one trade to bring in somebody to replace McGroarty. Now, after trading McGroarty away so we could bring in Boyce, we do need somebody to replace McGroarty for this one season. One of the main reasons I traded McGroarty is we had to free up cap space for not only this season, but next season as well. And now that we've freed up cap space for next season, we can bring in somebody on a 1-year deal. So that's what we're going to do with Gabe Perreault. 2 second-rounders and 2 third-rounders for Gabe Perreault. I need you to retain a little bit of money, though. If you don't retain money, we're not getting this deal done. Hopefully a 4th rounder will make the difference, and it looks like it will. So Gabe Perreault, welcome to the team. It's time for the Sharks to go back to back, and it's time for Celebrini to get his 7th Stanley Cup. So over the offseason, some tough decisions had to be made. We ended up losing Cole Caulfield, but I think we got a great Cole Caulfield replacement. Gabriel Boyce, 92 overall medium franchise potential. He's playing alongside Celebrini and Afwagenov. Nah, this team is ready to go back to back. I'm not concerned in the slightest. We will change up these pairings a little bit because I don't know what we are cooking up. These are the pairings that I want to run. I don't know what those lines were before. Meanwhile, when it comes to goaltending, Ashcroft, this could be your final run with the team. I don't know what your regression is going to look like, but you won a Stanley Cup last season. It's time for you to bring home one more. And then you know what? If we win one this season, I think I'm obligated to bring you back next season when we go for the three-peat. You haven't been able to win a three-peat yet with the San Jose Sharks. Maybe you can do that next season, but let's focus on this season first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now, for the longest time, I thought there was going to be an amazing rivalry between the San Jose Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks, but you know what? I was wrong. Who would have thought the incredible rivalry would be between the San Jose Sharks and the LA Kings? 2 teams in the same division going at it. Nah, this is going to be an amazing second round matchup. I know for a fact LA's looking to bounce back from last season's disappointment, but I know for a fact we are looking to dominate what just happened this season. Celebrini, 85 points. Boyce, you suck. Bro is an absolute fraud, a straight bum. Nah, he really made us that much worse. Also, shout out to Carter Bear for just picking up 35 goals for no apparent reason. Bro is just an absolute dog. But nah, this team took a big step back. Ashcroft, you're still our number 1 guy. But nah, I'm a little bit concerned heading into the postseason here. I don't know if we're quite as good as last season. Then again, last season, that was an absolute fluke. Like, we just smoked everyone we played against. So I'm expecting a couple teams are going to put some more pressure on us this time. No, because last season, nobody competed with us. Didn't we go like 16-2 or 16-3 in the playoffs? Like, nobody challenged us whatsoever, but we are being challenged right now. We are down 2-0 in the series. No, we can't lose in the first round. Losing to the LA Kings in the second round is one thing, but losing in the first round to the Edmonton Oilers, I don't think I could handle that. Luckily, we're going to be winning game number 3, and I believe the last time we won game 3 against the Edmonton Oilers, we ended up winning 4 games in a row, so how about we go ahead and do that? Let's go ahead and win 4 games in a row here, close this series out in 6 games, and then move on to the second round to take on the LA Kings. We've won 2 games in a row. Can we now make it 3 straight victories with a winning game number 5? No, we cannot. We're allowing 9 goals. No, we can't go out like this. San Jose, I need you to wake up here. You guys have the offense, you have the defense, and you have the goaltending. Where are you guys when I need you most? Apparently somewhere else, because Edmonton is putting a lot of pressure on us. Bang's picking up a big-time goal. Celebrini's picking up another one. Yeah, we're winning this game. We're going to be taking it 6-5. It was a late push from Edmonton, but yeah, we have Game 7 coming up. I don't know what is wrong with this San Jose Sharks team right now, but they just can't seem to figure it out. Like, we are struggling against a wildcard team. Actually, no, we aren't. We are not struggling against a wildcard team. We're taking on the 3rd place team in the Pacific Division. I completely forgot we didn't win the President's Trophy. I am just so used to this team winning the President's Trophy every single season that we're actually not taking on a wildcard team this time, but instead the 3rd place team of the Pacific Division. I got ahead of myself. 9 times out of 10, we win the President's Trophy, and with us winning the President's Trophy, that means we also win our division. That didn't happen this season. The LA Kings actually won the President's Trophy, meaning they ended up winning the division. So we took on the 3rd place in the Pacific Division, not a wildcard team. 2 completely different things. Moving into the 2nd round though, now we get our toughest task. We have the LA Kings coming up. Now I'm assuming we're going to take at least 1 game away from them in the first 3. Maybe we can take all 3 away. No, if we could have won 3 straight games to start off this series, that would have proved to the LA Kings that we are a significantly better team than them, and we are a better team because we're taking them down 5 games. LA who? Yeah, they can't compete with us anymore. So we're moving on to the conference finals. The boys are 8-4 so far. We looked really good in the conference finals against the LA Kings, but it appears things are slowly falling apart on us. We lost the first 2 games, but luckily we're responding in game 3 and we're winning game 4 as well. It seems like whenever we lose the first 2 games of a series, we still find a way to end up winning it. I don't really care that we're trailing in the series heading into game number 6, because I know for a fact San Jose is going to step up when it matters. I don't care if Vegas is picking up the first 2 goals of the game. And I don't care if they're picking up another goal in the second period. We will find a way to come out on top in this game. Okay, maybe I should jump into this one a bit earlier than I thought. We're trailing by 2 goals already. If we're already trailing by 2 goals, maybe I have to jump into this one earlier than I thought. We basically have the entire 3rd period to make this comeback. More than enough time. Also, look at Vegas's overalls. 84 offense, 80 defense, 82 goaltending. Yeah, I'm not worried now. We will beat Vegas. Like, I just know for a fact that Vegas is not going to be able to compete with our star players. Like, just look at their overalls. They're not ready for us. Boyce is picking up a big goal. Nah, we legit might score 7 goals in the 3rd period here. Like, the difference in skill level right now isn't even comparable. Oh, that was a great play by Brunette. He read that perfectly. We'll send it out in front of the net, but unfortunately, we're going to have a terrible angle. Jacob Fowler, a big save, but what a read from Brunette there. If we only had a better angle, we would have had a goal. So the neutral zone is pretty cluttered right now, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We're going to be drawing a penalty. We'll center that one out in front. Dog. There is no way you didn't bury that one. I am sorry. You have to capitalize on that one. Luckily, we're going on the power play, but dog, you got to bury that backhander into the back of the net. You have to capitalize on a play like that. You know what? I'm not going to overthink things too much here because we'll just score on this power play. We have the full pressure mirror maxed out. Parek's going to send it back over to Gabe Perreault. He's got lots of space. We'll throw one on net, but Jacob Fowler's making a save. I was kind of hoping that shot would be deflected through traffic, but I guess things can't always go your way. So we're building pressure in the offensive zone. Will Smith is going to go for a skate and nobody's going to pick him up. So yeah, he'll just bury that one in the back of the net. Nobody wanted to pick up the puck carrier in Will Smith, so he went for a skate himself. He's going to find more than enough space, and he's going to tie this game up. The fact that I need to jump into a game like this, though, is a little bit ridiculous. Like, Vegas isn't even in the same league as us. Come on now, San Jose, you should be dominating. So we're halfway through the 3rd period. We've already been able to pick up 2 goals, but I want to see Macklin Celebrini score a goal. When was the last time I scored a goal with Macklin Celebrini? I feel like it's been too long. So let's go find Macklin Celebrini and let's allow him to score a goal here. There's Celebrini right there, and there's a goal for Celebrini. Some elite passing from the San Jose Sharks. They're showing the Vegas Golden Knights why they should be scared. You're not ready for our future games. You might think things are looking good for you right now, but you forgot who you're going against. You're going against Macklin Celebrini. You're going against Boyce. You're going against Ashcroft. You're going against Will Smith. Alpha Ginoff's on this team. Zane Parek is on this team. You're not ready. So moving forward, it's all about playing good defense here. Let's not get stupid risky. Let's play some good defense and let's not give them any opportunities. Boyce is going to be intercepting a loose puck. It looks like Dickinson's looking to move up. He's going to send over to Celebrini. He's got one defenseman to beat, and low-key, he is dancing. Oh, Celebrini, you were doing something there, and you still have the puck on your stick. Celebrini is looking to score another one here. He is not messing around. So we have 4:56 left in this game. It's an offensive zone draw for the San Jose Sharks. You know this team wants to pick up another goal. Just look at that hit from Zane Parek. They have not slowed up in the slightest. No, they're still looking to do some damage here. Parek's going to drop this one back. Will Smith in a perfect spot, but he can't bury this one. But that's because Brunette's going to be burying it. What a rip right there from the defensive defenseman. That was an absolute rocket. Bar down. third goal of the postseason. We have picked up 4 goals so far in the third period. This is a statement game right here. Y'all aren't ready for what this team is capable of. We're looking to win not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5 Stanley Cups. We're looking to win like 10 in a row here. And as long as we can keep all the core pieces around, I don't see why we can't do that. But what a shot from Bro. No, that was an absolute rocket. And that's coming from a defensive defenseman. Imagine what the offensive players on our team can do. Like, I'm so serious when I say Vegas might have 1 shot so far in the third period. Like, we have just dominated. They are not in the same league as us right now. I don't even know how we're struggling against this team. Like, how are we trailing in the series? That doesn't even make sense. Like, seriously, you're trying to tell me that this Vegas Golden Knights team is somehow better than this San Jose Shark team? Nah. That's just not happening. They are not better than us. We are just going to keep on burying the goals here. We are running up the score against Vegas. I don't care if this isn't Game 7, but we are setting the tone for Game 7. They need to know what's coming. So with time winding down, I'm wondering if it's possible for us to pick up 1 more goal, and it might. Boyce might have a step on the defense here. There is a loose puck, 1 last shot, but it looks like Jacob Fowler is going to be stopping it. The San Jose Sharks are winning this one, and we're off to Game 7. We have Game 7 elimination coming up, but we got some momentum moving into that game. We showed the Vegas Golden Knights what we're about. They're not ready for us. No, like, we have to take a quick look at the stats here. We scored 5 goals in the third period, outshot them 17-1. Superstar difficulty, by the way. Like, they're not ready for us. No, like, real talk, I should have quit early in that game. I didn't need to score all 5 of those goals. I scored more goals than they took shots in that game. That is how dominant the San Jose Sharks are, and they're looking to bring all that momentum heading into Game 7, but it appears that we don't have that momentum anymore. Vegas is outscoring us 2-1 in the first period. Moving into the second, we're responding with back-to-back goals. San Jose is not going to go down that easy. They're going to step up when the lights are the brightest. Afinogenov, with 7 minutes left in the game, is picking up the winner, and we are off to the Stanley Cup final. We're looking to go back-to-back. Things were looking a little bit dark in game number 6, but a dominant third period performance is going to give us enough momentum to win Game 7, so it all comes down to this. We are taking on the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup final. The boys are rolling, but unfortunately we've lost 2 in a row. I'm trusting them to win game number 4. I know for a fact they're not going to lose 3 in a row. The Sharks would never do that. They don't lose 3 straight games. But you know what they seem to do? Always put themselves in a terrible position heading into game number 6. Once again, we are trailing in the series, so I might have to jump in and save this game for the San Jose Sharks, because what are we doing here? Allowing 4 goals in the first period? No, we can't do that. We're trailing by 2 goals entering the third. I'll simulate a little bit of this one, but I might be jumping in. And you know what? I think I do have to jump into this one. 11 minutes left in the game. We're still trailing by 2. I guess I have to save the San Jose Sharks once again. Now, the real question is, what are the overalls for the Washington Capitals? Are they better than the Vegas Golden Knights? Are they about the same? Okay, they're about the same as the Vegas Golden Knights, so I'm expecting dominance once again here. We're shortening the bench. We're getting our star players on the ice. We have 11 minutes to work with. I think we can cook with 11 minutes. As long as we just do the exact same thing we did in our last game against the Vegas Golden Knights, I think we will be perfectly fine. But I'm expecting Washington's going to play a little bit different. They're going to be more aggressive, but maybe they won't be, because Gabe Perreault is going to fight off a defenseman. He's picking up his 2nd goal of the game, and just like that, we're down to a 1-goal deficit. Washington, what are you doing here? Lay a body on Gabe Perreault. You're going to let him just walk into the zone like that? You're going to have a defenseman stick on him, but that defenseman isn't going to defend whatsoever. Nah, y'all gotta lock in if you really want to compete. If you really want to win a Stanley Cup, you have to put some pressure on some of our stars. Oh, that was a bad rebound, Askarov. You can't be giving up a juicy rebound like that. Sharov is going to bury that one into the back of the net. I didn't think that was too risky of a shot, but what is that rebound control right there? I'm not going to lie, Askarov. You got to help me a little bit more. You can't be giving up a juicy rebound like that. Then again, Brunette, you got to get that out of the zone. Like, you got to clear that puck out. But Askarov, you can't be giving up those juicy rebounds. After scoring a really quick goal after jumping into this one, disaster is struck. The Washington Capitals are picking up a goal, and just like that, they're back to their 2-goal lead, but we still got lots of time to cook. Now, things have just not been going our way. We just can't gain control of the puck. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, it always ends up on Washington's stick. But here goes Blacker. He's going to center that one out in front. Nordmark, a chance to get us back into this game. And what a play. Blacker with an incredible pass over to Nordmark, a man that we signed long term. We gave this dude a 7-year deal at $1.9 million, and here he is in the Stanley Cup final, picking up a very important goal. Nah, bro's stepping up big time when we need him to. We're still in this game. We might not have too much time left in this one, but I think we have more than enough time to score one more goal. We have about 2 minutes remaining. We just have to get something going in the offensive zone, and we got to gain control of the puck. So Macklin Celebrini is out on the ice, and we know exactly what he has to do. He needs to find some space, and he needs to go to work here. And now that he has the puck, I think he's ready to dance. So Celebrini's bringing the puck into the offensive zone. He's trying to find some space, and I think he found a little bit. Nordmark was there, but he can't bury this one. Now he's crashing the boards. Nordmark is fighting for that loose puck. He is battling Boyce, a chance to tie this game. That's all Nordmark. Nordmark is the reason this play happens. That battle against the boards. He is freeing that puck up. Boyce is collecting it, and he's going to bury this goal. With 28 seconds left in the game, we have a chance at overtime. But shout out to Nordmark. What a battle. He is freeing that loose puck for Boyce. He's going to the backhand, and he's going to bury this one. We have overtime in the postseason. We're still alive. Now, I will certainly give the Washington Capitals a lot of credit. They are battling a lot better than the Vegas Golden Knights. However, I will say, we are still the better team at the end of the day, and we will not give up any more elite chances. Ashcroft, work on that rebound control. Like, what are you doing, my guy? You have to help me here. Like, I don't even understand it anymore. So we have overtime in game number 6 of the Stanley Cup final. If we win this game, we're off to game 7. If we lose, the Washington Capitals claim the Stanley Cup, and I refuse to let that happen. I will not let the Washington Capitals win the Stanley Cup. That's a big shot right there from Brunette, but it looks like Labrie is making an even bigger save. So Macklin Celebrini, you know what you have to do in this situation. Win me the face-off. What a win from Celebrini. We'll send it back to Boyce. Boyce is going to be knocked off, but Celebrini's got it, and he's looking to create some space. And look at Celebrini ripping that one home. Celebrini is sending us to game 7 when the lights are the brightest and you need a big time player to step up. Give the puck to Macklin Celebrini. The superstar that we've been building this entire team around is stepping up big time. He's going to bury the game 6 winner, and now we're off to game 7 with a chance at winning the Stanley Cup. But what a play there by Macklin Celebrini. He dodged one defenseman. He set himself up. The goaltender bit too far over to the other side, and he was able to bury that one short side. He was looking short side the entire way. His 14th goal of the postseason. Macklin Celebrini is showing up when it matters, and now we have a chance to bring another Stanley Cup home to San Jose. So it's all going to come down to one final game. Game 7 to decide who takes home the Stanley Cup. The San Jose Sharks stepped up big time in game number 6. Macklin Celebrini walking away with the biggest goal of his career, but maybe I lied, because maybe he's going to be picking up a hat trick in this game against the Washington Capitals, and he did. But that still might not be enough. I can't jump into this game. I just want to point that out. Celebrini has scored the last 4 goals for the San Jose Sharks. And how are they repaying him? By losing game number 7. I'm heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken by this, but maybe not. Another shorthanded goal. San Jose is still in this game somehow. I have no clue how they're in this game, but here we are, late in the 3rd period, a tie game 4-4. Macklin Celebrini, I need you to score another huge goal. We're giving Washington way too many power plays. We have to capitalize on one of ours. Okay, stop taking penalties, boys. Why are we giving them so many power plays? And just like that, we're not done. I was heartbroken there for a second. I think you could tell I was heartbroken. But here we are, overtime of game 7. The San Jose Sharks still can win it, and they are. Boyce is picking up the OT winner in game 7. I was heartbroken in the 3rd period. Valesi is picking up a goal with 13 seconds left in the game, and when it mattered most, Boyce is picking up a goal. We are Stanley Cup champions once again. We have now gone back to back, so you know what that means. We go for the 3-peat next season, and Ashcroft, I'll find a way to clear up some cap space for you. You're sticking around for the 3-peat. I don't know how exactly the boys did it, but the San Jose Sharks are Stanley Cup champions once again. They went on a historic run. Like, this run from them made absolutely no sense, but we're here. Stanley Cup champions. They've done it once again. Ashcroft, you had terrible numbers, but you know what? You still won enough games in the postseason. You get to hoist another Stanley Cup with the San Jose Sharks, the 7th of your career. How many regular season wins do you have now? Are you at 600 quite yet? It doesn't look like it. After next season, you will have 600 regular season wins though. Nah, this man's really the greatest goaltender of all time. That is crazy work. But you know what? I think we have another GOAT on our team. And you know who I think that GOAT is? Macklin Celebrini, because he's taken home another Conn Smythe, his 7th Conn Smythe. Yeah, he hasn't won all the other individual awards, but you know what? He's winning Stanley Cups and he's winning Conn Smythe trophies, the MVP of the postseason. If you're going to talk about a great, you talk about how they step up in the postseason. And Macklin Celebrini has certainly done that in today's video. Now, after making a ton of trades last season, unfortunately, we only have 3 picks to work with, so we're not going to be getting any superstars, but we have now won back-to-back Stanley Cups, meaning we have another opportunity at completing the elusive three-peat. San Jose, I need you to win it this time. We have had countless opportunities at three-peating, but we've just never been able to close it out. We currently have $18 million in cap space right now. Brunette, I would love to bring you back to the team, but I feel like 14.6 million is a little bit too much. Ashcroft, how much are you looking for? Hopefully I can do a cheap deal with you, but 8 million for you is quite expensive. We have to choose between Ashcroft and Brunette, and I think we have to stick with Brunette. He stepped up big time in the postseason. He made some big time plays. He's a guy I definitely want sticking on this team long term. He's also only 24 years old. I think I have to go with the younger player in a situation like this. So Brunette, here's 12.2 million for the next 8 years. Ashcroft, I want to thank you for everything you've done for this franchise, but unfortunately, it's time for us to head a different direction. Unless you're willing to sign for like $5 million, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Also, when it comes to basically everyone else, we're basically forced to let them walk. We have $5.2 million in cap space. Our bottom 6 is going to be very, very, very questionable next season, but I think we'll find a way to make it work. We always have in the past. Now, currently, Dickinson and Alfaginoff are both looking for contract extensions. How much is Dickinson looking for? 15.5. I feel like Alfaginoff is a little bit more valuable, but he's looking for 14.6 for one season, and I can't be doing a 1-year contract, so we might be holding off with both of these guys. Like, I would like to bring them back to the team, but I just don't know if I can do that. Meanwhile, Seguin, there is a chance that you are our #1 goaltender this season. I'm not really a big fan of that, but I don't think we really have any other choice here. Is 1.3 for the next 2 years. Yeah, we're going to be running a very interesting goaltending tandem, but I think we'll make it work. So we're moving into the offseason, and what exactly am I looking for? Cheap forwards. Very, very, very cheap forwards, because that is really all I can afford right now. Andrew Crystal, you're currently looking for like $1.9 million. If we did 2 years, you want 1.3. So I guess I can lock you down for 1.5 million. Actually, I'll do 1.6 for the next 2 years. That's pretty reasonable. Welcome to the team. So when it comes to a centerman, Turgeon, you're going to be the guy we go with. You're only a 79 overall, but if I do multiple seasons, we can save some money. I'll do 1.5 for the next 2 seasons. You're going to play some 4th line minutes for me. When it comes to a right winger we can bring to the team, who exactly are we looking at here? Well, Janssen makes a lot of sense. 80 overall, 22 years old. I'm pretty sure we drafted this man. Why did I not re-sign him? Here's 1.2 million though. I am 90% sure that we drafted this man, and we did draft him. Why did I not keep him on the team? I have no clue, but now he's going to be rejoining. On top of him rejoining, Ulandov, I'm bringing you back to the team as well. I'm pretty sure you were with the franchise. Here's 1.675 for the next 2 years. And I think all we have to do is sign one more left winger, and then we're going to be ready for next season. 925K for 2 seasons. You're an 80 overall player looking for this much money? Nah, buddy, fire your agent. So the San Jose Sharks are in historic territory right now. We're going for the three-peat once again. Unfortunately, over the offseason, we did lose some of the important pieces, but you know what? There are some players on this team that have earned some bigger roles, Nordmark being one of them. We saw this man step up big time in the postseason last year, so I think he has definitely earned a spot in the top 6. When taking a look at our defense, that's basically the exact same, and when it comes to goaltending, that's where we're going to be seeing one of our changes. However, we have 2 84 overall goaltenders, one having medium league potential, the other having medium starter. These are 2 guys I think we can definitely rely on. Hopefully Morrison's going to be taking the next step and he's going to be the #1 moving forward. But as of right now, I think we have 2 guys that we can win with. At the end of the day, I'm not expecting them to do the exact same thing that Ashcroft did, because Askarov was just on another level. However, if they can put up a fraction of the numbers that Askarov did, I think we'll still be able to win a Stanley Cup. Now, it looks like it's going to be a difficult postseason for us once again. We are once again behind the LA Kings. We're tied with the Edmonton Oilers, so our first round is going to be very difficult. But on top of all that, the Philadelphia Flyers have claimed the President's Trophy. All right, Philly, I didn't realize you were heading in that direction. I didn't realize you had a bunch of great young talent on the team. Like, I feel like we haven't seen the Philadelphia Flyers in a really long time, so they must have rebuilt their team, and they must have got some superstars. When it comes to San Jose's team, of course, Celebrini's leading the way like usual. When it comes to goaltending, it looks like Seguin's going to be our number one. 26 wins, 2 shots, a 929 to 247. He was looking really strong this season. Morrison did what he could, but he wasn't quite as good as Seguin. So moving into the postseason, we know who our guy is. We have the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. If we get past Edmonton, we'll likely get another rematch against the LA Kings, but you already know what we're going to do against the LA Kings. We're smoking them in 5 games. We're always going to give them 1 game just to give them a little bit of hope, and then we'll take them out. So it's time for us to prepare for the postseason. We have the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. It looks like we were on a little bit of a losing streak heading into the postseason, and I guess that's going to be continuing because we're going to be dropping game number 1. Luckily, we're going to respond in game number 2, but we're allowing 6 goals. I'm not a big fan of that. We got to lock in defensively here because we cannot be allowing 6 goals, and we're doing that once again in game number 4. What's going on with our defense? We are allowing way too many goals here. We got to figure things out. Luckily, we're scoring 6 goals in game number 5. Can we do so again in game number 6? It looks like it, but this time we're actually going to be scoring 7. So we're moving on to the second round, and who do you think we get to take on? None other than the LA Kings. Let's take them down again. We're going to be taking the LA Kings down in 5 games. Of course, we always give the LA Kings 1 game. We're respectful like that. We want to give them a little bit of hope before we completely smoke them, but I guess things are different this time around because we're just going to sweep the LA Kings. The LA Kings just aren't good enough. We're moving on to the conference finals, 8-2 so far in the postseason. I'm ready for Philly in the Stanley Cup final. Before we take on Philly though, we have to get past the Minnesota Wild, so let's just lock in these first 3 games, but we're going to be dropping 2 of the first 3. That's not really ideal. Moving into game number 4, that's a must win for us, and of course when the lights are the brightest, the San Jose Sharks are showing up. We're winning back-to-back games. We're about to make it 3 in a row and we'll move on to the cup final, but like usual, it's not that simple. So we have game 7 coming up against the Minnesota Wild. This is a must win for the San Jose Sharks, and we're coming out flying. 3 goals in the first period. We're going to be allowing a goal in the second, but I think we're going to be able to close this one out. Ulandov's picking up an empty net goal, and we're moving on to the Stanley Cup final. We are 4 wins away from our first ever three-peat. San Jose, I need you to play some of the greatest hockey you have ever played. So here we go, the Stanley Cup final, and it doesn't look like it's going to be the Philadelphia Flyers, but instead we get the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup final, a team that I certainly wasn't expecting. After dropping game 1, we're winning back-to-back games. We're going to make it 3 games in a row, and with a win in game number 5, we've officially won 3 Stanley Cups in a row. The San Jose Sharks have completed the three-peat. That's the first time we've done that in today's video. We've had multiple opportunities to do so, but we haven't quite closed out until now. Now, I already know that Macklin Celebrini was the reason that we won a Stanley Cup here. Let me see his numbers, but maybe I misspoke because Will Smith, 12 goals and 18 assists for 30 points is incredible. Zane Parekh, 27 points. Macklin Celebrini, only 12 goals and 14 helpers for 26 points. For once, he might not be taking home the Conn Smythe. Honestly, I'm stunned at that. Meanwhile, Seguin, 15 wins, 1 shutout, a 907 and a 284. The numbers certainly weren't pretty, but at the end of the day, we're Stanley Cup champions, and that's all that matters. Stanley Cup number 8 for the San Jose Sharks, and Macklin Celebrini has officially been acquired. I'm assuming that Macklin Celebrini isn't taking home any awards this season, but he is winning the Conn Smythe once again. Okay, I'm starting to think this is a little bit rigged because Will Smith definitely outperformed, bro. But hey, we'll give it to Macklin Celebrini. I'm not going to overcomplicate things, and I'm not going to complain. Another Conn Smythe from Macklin Celebrini, his 8th of the video. I want to take a look at his trophy case one more time, because what Macklin Celebrini has been able to accomplish so far is nothing short of spectacular. Like, look at this trophy case. 8 Stanley Cups, 8 Conn Smythes, 3 Hart trophies, 2 Ted Lindsays, 3 Art Ross, 4 Maurice Rock Richards, and 2 Lady Bangs. Nah, he's really going down as the greatest player of all time. 8 Stanley Cups at age 32. nobody does it quite like Celebrini. After winning another Stanley Cup, there's only one thing left for us to do: win in the draft. We're going to be getting ourselves a lowly potential player, but I'm not even too focused on bro. I'm focused on the fact that we have now won 3 Stanley Cups in a row, so that could only mean one thing heading into this season. It's time for the four-peat. San Jose is going for the four-peat this season, and anything less than that won't be accepted. So we have to decide between Dickinson and Afinogenov. I feel like Afinogenov makes a little bit more sense here, so I think we're going to go with him. We'll lock him down for maybe like 14.5 for the next 6 seasons. I think that's relatively reasonable. But what if we do this instead? 13.75 for the next 6 seasons. Afinogenov, if you're willing to accept that, will bring you back, and that's exactly what we're doing. When it comes to Nordmark, I would like to bring him back to the team, but not for 9.5 million. That's not happening. Pobezol, I would love to keep you around, but I can't do 3.9 million. So I guess you're going to be walking. Bang, maybe you jump into the lineup. You're a 76 overall. Maybe you can be like a 78 by the beginning of next season, and you can play a big role for us. Moving into the off season here, I don't think I'm going to show you all the signings we make, because who exactly are we bringing to the team? Just the cheapest players imaginable. We are looking for guys who are willing to sign for like $1 million. Nathan Gaucher, welcome to the team. Here's $1 million for 1 season. These are the types of contracts we're on, because that's really all we can afford here. We have 7.5 million. We can't afford to bring in any elite players. So yeah, I'm not going to be showing you all these signings right here. I'll just go ahead and sign our bottom 6, and then we'll move on to next season. Alright, so we're going to have to give up a handful of draft picks because we need to bring in 1 cheap right defenseman. And Ryan Lynn, if Florida retains half of your contract, you would actually be a really good player for us. They're willing to accept this deal if they don't have to retain that much money. What if I throw in a mediumly potential goaltender? Morrison, I don't think you're coming back to the team next season, so I actually would be willing to trade you in this deal. Hopefully that's going to be enough. They're saying no. I'll give you another draft pick. And if you say no to this next draft pick, then I'll just have you retain less money. But hopefully this 3rd round pick is going to be enough to get this deal done. Ryan Lynn, can you join the team? It doesn't look like it. Retain less money than Florida. You don't need to retain this much money. How about like $1 million less? Would you be willing to accept this deal right here? Perfect. Ryan Lynn, welcome to the team. You're about to win a Stanley Cup with San Jose, and we're going to show you what a dynasty is all about. So as the years go on, our bottom 6 is slowly going to be falling apart because we're not going to have enough money to keep everyone around. But you know what? We still have the core pieces. And as long as we have the core pieces here, we can compete for a Stanley Cup. And that's exactly what we're going to do this season. You guys know exactly what we're going for. It's time for the four-peat. San Jose, it's time to put yourselves in the history books. Very few teams in NHL history have ever completed a four-peat, but it's time for the San Jose Sharks to officially join those other teams. Now, San Jose, you guys looked amazing once again this season, and although you won the most games this season, you're actually 3rd in the entire league and also 3rd in your division because the Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings are going to be ahead of you. Honestly, that's incredibly surprising, but to be fair, the only reason that you guys are 3rd in the entire league is you didn't lose games in overtime. You just lose games in regulation. We scored 4.24 goals per game, allowed 2.82. The team is looking amazing right now. Celebrini, another fantastic season, but I think we have to address the elephant in the room. He has dropped to a 93 overall, exact elite potential. Celebrini's falling off already at 33 years old. This can't be true. There is no way our king and Macklin Celebrini is falling off already. That's just not right. Steven Sagan, you're the #1 heading into the postseason. You were really good this season, but can we win another Stanley Cup? Can the San Jose Sharks complete the four-peat? We are about to find out. The goal is a four-peat for the San Jose Sharks. I have completely lost track of how many Stanley Cups Macklin Celebrini has won so far in this video, but I can tell you one thing. He wants to win another. He is not going out without at least one more Stanley Cup. We have now dropped back-to-back games. We can't be falling to a 3-0 deficit. Like, there's no way we actually lose in the first round. If we lose in the first round, this signals the end for the San Jose Sharks. In the first period, it's going to be a scoreless one. Moving into the second, the Edmonton Oilers are taking the lead in the series. We actually might go out like this. We actually might fall when it matters most. Luckily, Hemming's going to be picking up a huge 3rd period goal. We're about halfway through this one. I don't want to jump into this game unless I absolutely have to. I am trusting that the boys can step up and win this game. There's 5 minutes left. We might play a little bit risky. I might just pray that this team can win in overtime, because I don't necessarily want to jump into this one, but I feel like I should. We can't fall to a 3-0 deficit. Yeah, I'm jumping into this one. I can't risk it. Also, you know Celebrini is completely fallen off when Zane Parekh is now on the front page. He is standing alongside Connor Bedard here. Nah, Celebrini's really just not that guy anymore. It's heartbreaking to see. But Celebrini, even though I don't think you're that guy anymore, How about you prove me wrong? How about you pick up a big goal right here and keep your team in the series? Because yeah, we cannot afford to lose this game. Now, I don't know how much of this game you have seen so far in overtime, but let me tell you one thing. Gardner is putting on an absolute masterclass because there is no reason we shouldn't have won this game right now. Like, it's actually ridiculous. We have taken about 15 shots in overtime. Probably not 15, but we have taken quite a few shots, and we just can't find the back of the net. No matter what happens, we just can't get these shots past Gardner. He is putting on an absolute masterclass. Brunette, maybe you can create something. We're going short side. There was no way you were going to score from that angle. But we'll send it back to our defense. DeMello's going to get this one deep to Hemming, but now he's got to get back. Brunette's got to turn on the Jets. It's a 2-on-1 going the other way for the Edmonton Oilers, but we're going to be deflecting that shot wide. Now we just have to play some great defense in front of our net, and that's exactly what we're doing. Hemming's got the puck, and he's going to have a step. Here goes Hemming. A chance to end this game, but he's going to dish over to Andrew Crystal, who is going to dive straight into the goalie. What did I just witness? Nah, bro, what are you actually doing here? I need you to make some smart plays, but you're just going to dive right into the goaltender. You can't be doing that. But you know what? It might be working out. Brunette's got, he's sending it out to Janssen. Janssen can't bury this one. Nah, Gardner's actually a brick wall. I don't know what it's going to take at this point, but I don't think we're going to score in this game. I think we're actually going to fall to the Edmonton Oilers because we cannot score any goals. No, like, we literally just can't. Granted, a lot of these shots haven't been high quality, but even still, you would think we would have scored one by now. Here goes Will Smith, a nice little spin move, but he can't create enough space. No, this is actually rigged. Oh, that's a big turnover right there from Ackers, one of the former San Jose Sharks, and it looks like he's going to help the San Jose Sharks one more time. A perfect pass over to Will Smith. I think he forgot which team he was on because that was literally tape the tape to Will Smith. He's going to find the back of the net. But now I need to show you what this man, Evan Gardner, was doing during overtime. Because just look at this. 15-0. We dominated overtime. Yet he was making every save imaginable until that goal from Will Smith. Now I got to give bro a lot of credit. He stood on his head. But the real question is that win enough? Is that going to spark something for the San Jose Sharks moving forward? Or are we just going to go back to folding? Well, we've now won back-to-back games. Can we make it 3 victories in a row and then 4 victories in game number 6? It looks like that overtime goal is going to be a bit more than we thought because now we're in game 7. We could have been facing a 3-0 deficit, but here we are in game 7 with a chance at moving on to the second round. The dream of our 4-peat is still alive, but we need to show up in this game. It's a tie game entering the third. Who is going to be stepping up when the lights are the brightest? It looks like it's going to be Boyce, and it looks like it's going to be Valesi. We're picking up back-to-back goals, and we're moving on to the second round. Things were looking pretty tough for us, but we're coming out on top at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and move on to the second round and likely take on the LA Kings, but I guess not. The Anaheim Ducks are up next, but they beat the LA Kings, so this Ducks team has to be legit, and it looks like they are legit right now. They're winning game 1, but we're winning back-to-back games after that. Can we make it 3 straight victories? Yes, we can. Can we make it 4 in a row and move on to the conference finals? Nah, San Jose's going for that 4-peat. Just when I thought we were down and out, here we are in the conference finals taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. We are 4 victories away from making it back to the Stanley Cup final, but now we're 2 victories away. How about we win back-to-back games here, move on to the Stanley Cup final, and complete the 4-peat with Macklin Celebrini? All we have to do is win one more game here, and we're here, the Stanley Cup final. We're taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. We just need 4 more wins for San Jose, and Macklin Celebrini can bring home another Stanley Cup, and we can go on and win 4 Stanley Cups in a row, but we have to win one more. One more victory gives us the 4-peat, and we just secured the 4-peat. San Jose has done the impossible. Just when we thought San Jose wouldn't be able to do it, we thought this team was washed. We thought the San Jose Sharks couldn't step up when the lights were the brightest anymore, but they proved that they can still do that. Celebrini, I know for a fact it was a dominant run from you, but Will Smith appears to be a little bit better once again. 10 goals, 21 helpers for 31 points, but we know for a fact that Celebrini is going to be taking home the Conn Smythe. He takes home the Conn Smythe every season, and he's going to do it again here. Show it to Seguin. He put up good enough numbers good enough to allow us to win our 4th Stanley Cup in a row. Nah, I can't believe we just did that. The San Jose Sharks are on top once again. Of course, Macklin Celebrini has taken home all the major awards, except for the Maurice Rocket Richard. That's going to be going to Connor Bedard. But when it comes to the Conn Smythe Trophy, only one man can win that, and that man is going to be Macklin Celebrini. That's going to be what? Stanley Cup number 8 now. I just want to double check to see how many Stanley Cups Celebrini has won in his career now, because things are getting a little bit ridiculous. Stanley Cup number 9. 9 cups, 9 Conn Smythes. Nah, we have to bring home number 10 next season. 10 Stanley Cups, including a 5-peat. Nah, Celebrini will go down as the greatest player of all time. Now, we're not going to have ourselves too many draft picks to work with, but we will find a way to walk away with at least one mediumly potential goaltender. I don't know if this guy's going to have enough time to develop for us, so he could end up being a good trade asset. So we have ourselves $10 million in cap space moving into the offseason. Ryan Lynn wants $14 million, so that is 100% not happening. Andrew Crystal, can we do something somewhat reasonable? $5 million for one season is not reasonable, so you're likely going to be leaving. But hold on just 1 minute. You do have maxed out contract interest and organizational interest. So is there a universe where I give you no movement and we can bring you back for like $3.8 million? There's no way he's actually going to accept this, but I'm going to offer it anyways. And yeah, Andrew Crystal's not coming back to the team, so we'll just move into free agency and bring in some cheap players. Now we're getting pretty close to the end of this video. Will Smith is 35 years old and has dropped to exact top 6 potential. Zane Parek's 34. Macklin Celebrini is pretty close to that same age as well. How old is Celebrini? It looks like Celebrini is 34 as well, so these guys really don't have too much time left. However, we got ourselves a pretty dominant team. Hopefully we can walk away with at least one more Stanley Cup. But the second Macklin Celebrini drops below 90 overall, the CPU officially takes over. I won't be allowed to jump to any more games moving forward. It will strictly be simulation. So next season could be the final year for Macklin Celebrini. We have to seize our opportunity next season. So that can only mean one thing. We're going all in. We are going to make some very aggressive trades. We're going to give ourselves an elite chance to complete the 5-peat and win Stanley Cup number 10 with Macklin Celebrini. Now, I think we actually are going to make one notable signing here in free agency. Matthew Nyes here's $5.2 million for one season. Because you have X factors, I think you can actually be a decent player on our second line, but I guess only time will tell. Now, this could be the final season that I'm going to be managing Macklin Celebrini's career, because at 34 years old, he's dropped to 92 overall. And as I mentioned, the second he drops below 90 overall, I'm done managing his career. The CPU is going to be taken over after that. So this could be the last dance. Our last dance with the San Jose Sharks. Our last real chance at completing the 5-peat and winning Stanley Cup number 10. So it all comes down to this one. Can we add Macklin Celebrini to the history books as the greatest player of all time? I don't see why not. So let's go ahead and do that. Now the Pacific Division has turned into an absolute battle. San Jose is second in the entire league once again. It's been a while since we won a President's Trophy because everyone in our division appears to be elite now. I don't know what has happened over these past couple of years, but the Pacific Division has turned into the best division in hockey. I don't know what's going on. Zane Parek is going to lead the team in scoring for the first time ever. 16 goals, 90 assists for 106 points. Macklin Celebrini, 46 goals, 44 helpers for 90 points. He has dropped to exactly a 90 overall, so I can only assume heading into next season, he's going to be down to like an 89. So this is likely our final season with Macklin Celebrini. Seguin, you had okay numbers here. McLaren was probably the number 1, and he should be the number 1 heading into the postseason, but we're rocking with Seguin once again. He's been our guy for the past 2 cup runs, so we're going to rely on him one more time. We're looking for Stanley Cup number 10 from Macklin Celebrini, our 5th in a row. I think this one's going to be pretty difficult, but hey, we won last season, so why can't we win again? The only difference is, heading into this season, Will Smith is another year older, Macklin Celebrini is another year older, Zane Parek is another year older, so I'm not sure if they're quite as dominant. I actually know they're not quite as dominant, because look at what Celebrini did this season during the regular season. He wasn't scoring nearly enough. You know what? We're about to take a 3-1 series lead on the Edmonton Oilers. We'll take them down 5 games and move on to the second round, so there's nothing for me to really worry about. When the lights are the brightest, this team always finds a way to show up, and we're going to do that again here. We're moving on in 6 games. So it's another dominant performance in the first round. We're moving on to the second round to take on the Anaheim Ducks, the lone team that was ahead of us in the standings. But you know what they don't have? Postseason experience. We have shown up time and time again in the playoffs. We're going to take a 3-1 series lead, and then we're going to win this in game number 5. It's no surprise that when the lights are the brightest, the San Jose Sharks are stepping up. We've moved on to the conference finals. We're 8-3 so far. So our next matchup is going to be against the Minnesota Wild. Can we find a way to win the first 3 games? It looks like it. This team is flying right now. The San Jose Sharks do not lose. They always find a way to win the most important games. We have moved on to the Stanley Cup final. A chance at a 5-peat is around the corner. The only team left for us to beat is the Buffalo Sabres. So can we take down the Buffalo Sabres? Can we win 2 games? Yes, we can. Can we make this 3 in the first 4? It looks like it. 1 game away from hoisting another Stanley Cup, but we have to close out one of these final 3 games. If we don't win game 6, I'm jumping into game 7. I don't care what the score is. Unless we're up by 8, I'm jumping into game 7. I will not allow the San Jose Sharks to lose this game right here. I will do whatever I have to in order to help this team win, but the Sharks will win this game right here. I'm going to simulate a little bit of the third period. We're picking up a big goal, and we're picking up another one right after that. The San Jose Sharks are flying. It's our bottom 6 picking up all the big goals. Who would have thought? 10 minutes left in this one. As long as we play some good defense, we should be walking away with the win. 5 minutes left. We are down to the final 5 minutes, and with that goal right there, I think we're good. We are going to be taking home another Stanley Cup. The 5-peat is complete. Macklin Celebrini is about to win Stanley Cup number 10, and this San Jose Sharks team is officially the greatest dynasty of all time. So it's all over but the crying. Stanley Cup number 5 has officially been won. Macklin Celebrini, 14 goals, 16 helpers for 30 points. He's dropped to an 88 overall, so that can only mean one thing. It's time for the CPU to take over for the rest of his career. Heading into this video, I want to give Macklin Celebrini the greatest career of all time. And I think we did that. And why do I think we did that? This man won 10 Stanley Cups. 10 Stanley Cups and 10 Conn Smythes. No other player in NHL history has been able to accomplish what Macklin Celebrini has done. So it's time for us to ride out into the sunset. Macklin Celebrini, you've had an incredible career, but it's time for the CPU to take over for the rest of it. However, before the CPU takes over, I will do one thing. And what exactly is that? We have to bring back Zane Parekh. I refuse to continue this video without Zane Parekh. He has been one of the key players on this team for a very long time. So yeah, we're keeping him around. $16 million for the next 2 seasons. Zane Parekh, welcome back. And then Will Smith, even though you're only an 83 overall, I think you have to come back to this team. So I'll give Will Smith an extension as well. The CPU is going to be handling everything else moving forward, but it wouldn't be right to continue without Will Smith on this team. Like, he's just as valuable as Macklin Celebrini. Okay, maybe not quite as valuable, but you get the point. Without Will Smith, we don't have these 10 Stanley Cups. So with the CPU taking over for the rest of Macklin Celebrini's career, it doesn't look like they're going to be doing too much over the offseason. Celebrini at 35 years old is an 88 overall. He has basically accomplished everything you could ask for in a career. Like, this man has won 10 Stanley Cups. What more does he need to accomplish? When it comes to goaltending, McLaren's going to be the number 1 moving forward. We have a decent goaltending tandem. Honestly, even though I'm not going to be jumping into any games moving forward, I still think there's a chance this team wins another Stanley Cup. It's certainly going to be a lot more difficult though, because I can't bail them out moving forward. However, they still have an elite team here. They still have Macklin Celebrini. I'm definitely not going to say they don't have a chance, because they certainly do. So another season's going to go by, and the San Jose Sharks are once again not winning the President's Trophy, but we're still going to be one of the best teams in the entire league. A 54-23-5 record. This Sharks team will continue to put pressure on everyone, but for some reason, we just can't win the President's Trophy anymore. I don't know why that is. We still have an amazing team here. Maybe it's the bottom 6 letting us down. Maybe it's the fact that Macklin Celebrini is only an 85 overall at 35 years old. He's washed. Celebrini is not the elite player that we have seen in the past. We're moving into the postseason. We're taking on the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. Can we get 6 Stanley Cups in a row? I highly doubt it, but it is possible. So we're looking for Stanley Cup number 6 right here for the San Jose Sharks. Although I can't jump into any of these games, we will still watch series by series, because I need to see whether or not Macklin Celebrini is going to be walking away with one more Stanley Cup. It is still possible, because the Sharks are still an elite team. However, there's a lot of teams that can certainly compete with us. Our top players aren't the guys that they used to be, but I guess that doesn't matter. We are 1 game away from moving on to the second round. Our dream of a 6-peat is still alive. The fact that we're competing for a 6-peat though is crazy. Like, a repeat is one thing, and then a 3-peat, that's pretty crazy. A 4-peat sounds impossible. but we're talking about a six-peat. 6 straight Stanley Cups, and right now things aren't looking great for San Jose. Game number 4 is a must-win, and they're going to be winning that game. So maybe they can get the offense going. Maybe they can build a little bit of momentum heading into Game 5, but it doesn't look like it. Game 6 is around the corner. Is this the end for the San Jose Sharks? It doesn't look like it. Game 7 is coming up. This team still has a chance at moving on to the conference finals, but Game 7 is going to decide their fate. It looks like we have ourselves a scoreless first period. Moving into the second, it's going to be all San Jose. This team is not done quite yet. We're moving on to the conference finals. So with that win in game number 7, we're officially in the conference finals, and we are 4 wins away. But it makes sense. It all makes sense. The team that's going to take us down and prevent the six-peat is going to be the Winnipeg Jets. It only makes sense. But what am I yapping about? The Winnipeg Jets are not that team right now. We are moving on to the Stanley Cup final. 4 more wins gives us the six-peat. I can't believe I'm talking about us potentially completing a six-peat, but here we are. However, things aren't looking good. We're currently down 3-1 in the Stanley Cup final. We might have won game number 5, but we still need to win game 6. It all comes down to one game. I want to jump into this one so bad. Like, I want to win this game right here for the San Jose Sharks, but I think they have to do it themselves. San Jose, I'm relying on you. I'm relying on the old veterans on this team to help their team win one more Stanley Cup. We might be trailing by 1 entering the third period, but Celebrini, you know what it takes. It's time for you to win San Jose one last Stanley Cup, but I guess it's not in the cards. In Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, it all comes to an end. San Jose's amazing run is coming to an end. I should have jumped into that game right there, but you know what? We got to follow the rules. The rules were, once Macklin Celebrini drops below a 90 overall, I simulate the rest of his career, and in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final in 2042, the San Jose Sharks are falling, and our chance at a six-peat's officially over. As much as I want to be sad that it's coming to an end, we should just be happy it happened. How many teams get the opportunity at completing a 5-peat? Like, nobody gets the opportunity at even competing for a 6-peat except for the San Jose Sharks. Macklin Celebrini, 14 goals, 14 assists for 28 points. You had a heck of a run, an incredible career, but things have officially come to an end. McLaren, you just weren't that guy. You couldn't step up when the lights were the brightest, so it's all over for Macklin Celebrini. Honestly, I couldn't be bothered jumping into another postseason, so I think what I'm going to do moving forward is I'm going to give Celebrini his contract extension right here, but I'll just see you guys at the end of his career, because I couldn't be bothered to watch another postseason run. After the disappointment that we all witnessed together, I don't think I could handle another postseason run, especially with Macklin Celebrini no longer in his prime. It just wouldn't be right. Now, Celebrini would go on to play a handful more seasons, but he wasn't able to do anything notable with the San Jose Sharks because they just continued to lose players. Will Smith left the team, then Boyce left the team. Afwolganov was the next guy to leave the team, but one player stuck around with Celebrini through the rest of it. And who is that player? Zane Parekh. And he's actually going to retire alongside Celebrini, two of the greatest of all time retiring alongside each other. It's only right. But Celebrini, at 40 years old, you're calling it a career. You played 1,792 games, and in those games you scored 967 goals. You picked up 1,143 assists for 2,110 points. Macklin Celebrini is going to go down as the greatest player of all time because look at this trophy case. 10 Stanley Cups, 10 Conn Smythes, 5 Hart trophies, 3 Ted Lindsays, 5 Art Ross trophies, 5 Rock Richards, and 5 Lady Bings. Tell me exactly what Celebrini couldn't do. I'm a little bit surprised he was never able to walk away with a Selke trophy, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to overthink things. Macklin Celebrini is going down as one of the most dominant players in NHL history. Like, just look at these postseason totals. In 383 games played, he picked up 199 goals, 231 assists for 430 points. He actually did end up making the Stanley Cup final one more time in his career. However, unfortunately, he would actually end up losing in the Stanley Cup final. But after that Game 7 loss against Tampa Bay, this San Jose Sharks team was just never the same. So Celebrini, you had one of the greatest careers of all time. I went out there and gave you the greatest career of all time in this Be a Pro simulation. Celebrini, what you did today was remarkable, and I don't know if we'll ever see a run this dominant again. Through all my years recording videos, Celebrini just had one of the greatest careers of all time, and it's going to be very hard to top.